I just don't see how people live like that.
No. And is it just
Well,
like an apartment as well?
No, no, it was a house. Like
Right.
it was a two-story house. It was a nice house too.
Still 20 cats, man. That's a lot.
That's a lot, yeah. To not be taken care of them. We actually found, I don't know what it was. It definitely had a cat's head. It was like a little like a crushed skeleton, dude.
Oh my god.
Like one of the cats, like I guess was like I don't know, inbred so much that it was born all deformed and shit.
What the fuck?
Dude, it was fucked up. When we found it, I was like, oh my God, that's just a skeleton. I was like,
what the fuck are you guys talking about?
the new house I'm moving into.
They found 20 cat skeletons in the.
No, no,
No.
no. These people they captured like when they evicted the people, they had to go and like capture all the animals and all that. They captured like 20 something cats, and like I was in there cleaning it this past week, and we found like it was like a skeleton, and it had like a little bitty cat's head, so it was a cat skeleton, and it was like all deformed and shit, and it was just a skeleton. Like all the meat was gone, all the fur was gone, like everything was just gone.
Was the previous owner like breeding and eating cats or something?
I don't know, dude. I don't
That's
know.
Okay. So
that's crazy.
this is this somewhere you've bought or is this a rented place?
No, it's the we own it now.
Right, you bought it. Okay. So the person previously owned it, and that's why they
Yeah,
weren't
yeah.
evicted. Yeah, because it's like that
Well,
landlord's doing his job.
well, they didn't even own it. So like the people we bought it from, like it was the mom who owned it, you know,
Uh
and
huh.
she had a husband, her ex-husband. He like went to he had like some real bad medical issues. They told him he wouldn't live very long, you know. Like, hey, you ain't got long to live. So she gave him living rights, like literally like signed over living rights for him to live in the
Right.
house until he died. Well, he lived 10 more years. So
Okay.
like his daughters and all that were over there living with him, and they couldn't evict him legally because he had living rights until he died.
Right. Okay. That's bizarre.
I
You
was
would
like, why
you
would
would
you
think
just
like
not live in
environmental
there?
health or something like that. Because like if you're finding a skeleton, that means that it's gone through the whole process of like decaying.
Decaying, yes, yes, that's what threw my mind. I was like, oh my God.
I'm
But yeah,
calling
so
it now. Your new house is haunted.
Yeah, 100%. That is a horror story waiting to happen.
well, they were like, I guess they had like a bunch of like, I could see where the doors have been busted in. Like cops that came in because of jug bust. Like they literally like had like that big little hammer thing. They bust open doors with like
Uh huh.
doors and fucked up safe.
Baron Ram, yeah.
Yeah. So it was like it was cheap, but it was like a shit house. But it looked good on the outside, and I was putting in some elbow grease. But I was like,
But
holy
you're
fuck,
going to hear cats meowing in the middle of the night,
hell no!
and little paw
Like,
prints like just appearing in the condensation, man.
I will literally shoot somebody. Uh, that I
You
still
just
haven't
gotta get
gotten.
a. You just gotta get your camera on your phone or something and just walk around your house and see if you see anything strange.
Right. I still haven't. We had to get underneath the house and see if there's any cats living underneath there
Oh,
still.
100% dead stuff underneath the house.
Oh my
100%.
God. So, anyways, so yeah, that's what I've been doing all week. And yesterday I had to go and deal with some stuff over there, so I had to drive a town over and come back. That's why I was like, "Fuck, I'm gonna be like 30 minutes late."
Yeah, I mean, we could have ran yesterday with you, Alex, and my wife, but I was like, I might as well just wait and do it on a Sunday. And then we've got like you three probably, plus Laura, plus other people.
Yeah, I can't wait till this is over with. I get my weekends back.
Ah, I see how it is.
What?
Oh, you mean
At
the
the game?
house?
Yeah, when like when I would get the house taken care of and I can move in there. I can't wait
Right.
till that part's done so I can get my fucking shit back on track.
Yeah. Yeah, being transition is no fun. I mean, I like the change of like moving somewhere new, but because I'm alright with like changing things up every few years. A lot of people
Right, right.
don't, but yeah, the actual transition can be a bit of a pain in the ass.
Well, I just moved from Georgia up to here like 6, 7 months ago now, so now I'm moving into a new house up here,
Which state are you in now, if you don't mind me asking?
uh, Virginia.
Virginia, okay. Just wait for Tink. He's trying to fix his sound, I think.
That's what it sounds like. He keeps joining and leaving a call.
My Discord is still really laggy. Like to display the icons lighting up and shit, man. There's been a whole bunch of updates now and it hasn't fixed it. I wonder if it's because I've got the fucking OBS on though. Although I think I was doing it even when OBS wasn't on.
I don't know. Everybody lights up on time for me.
Yeah, I mean, it'll light up for me, but there's like a delay of maybe 5-10 seconds.
Oh hell no.
And I'm just like, every time I press the button, I'm like, is this actually on?
Oh, you do push to talk, don't you?
Yeah, always.
I just mute my mic when I don't want you to hear stuff.
If I could just do that with one button press, probably.
That's all. That's what I got. I got like a little switch I can flip right here. Just boop.
I did buy a foot pedal to use for it, but it was a really cheap one, and it doesn't work the way you'd expect a foot pedal to work. Like, it'll press a button, but it won't like hold it.
Oh, so you had to hold it yourself?
Yeah, so it was useless. So I've just got a gamepad, and I just like hold down the trigger when I'm talking now. Because I was using my mouse before, but you can pure hear the click click of it every single time. And that's quite difficult to get out of a recording.
Yeah, I think my headset clicks when I mute it too. I've had a few people like, "What are you doing?" Like, "Oh, mute myself." Like, quit.
Don't think I've noticed with yours, man.
I think that's me. Can you hear me all right?
I can
Oh,
hear you. Yep.
I hear you now.
Just give me a second. Yep.
It wouldn't be a week without me having some sort of technical issue starting off.
I don't mind at the start people trying to get their stuff working. It's when it happens midway through a session. Which has happened to
That's
me a
'cause you-
couple of times.
That's because you interrupt the flow.
Seeing that Rennie's because I had an order last night really late, which I shouldn't have bought buying, and they gave me the wrong shit. I think it's somebody else's. But they said just keep it, I'll send you another one. So I kept that one and I had that for my dinner the night, but it's a doner kebab. I haven't had one of those in like 20 years, man. So I don't know how well my stomach's going to hold it down. It was a good one, but it wasn't like, sometimes you get really gross ones and they're greasy and sweaty. But this one's
So
actually cooked really nicely. It's just really spicy.
So it wasn't yours, but you're like, "Fuck it, I'm hungry enough."
Well, the guy was like, right, just order a can and it'll send you your delivery out. And just keep whatever it is that they've already left there. And I was like, alright then. So I just shoved it in the fridge. I also had my wife's 3-day-old pizza leftovers. So it was just all reheating shit the night, man.
Pizza don't make it 3 days here. If I eat pizza, it lasts the next day, and that's it.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you want to do. You don't want to leave it there for several days, but it was there and I was like, fuck it, I'll just throw it in anyway. My stomach is generally pretty good at fucking holding shit down. He says before he vomits.
Like, well, see, when I moved up here, I quit eating fast food for a while because I don't know, I just like didn't go out and eat. I was making all my food at the house. And like working on this house the last couple of weeks is I go to another town, so I just go out and like get Wendy's or something, come back. Oh my god, it's been fucking me up, dude. I went like half a year without eating fast food at all.
Well, my plan is now, because if I haven't said it enough times already, I'm hitting 40 this year. So my plan is now just to stop all the crap, and from now on, I'm just going to eat well and exercise regularly. So I'm just kind of getting out of the way. I deleted the app for fucking ordering takeaway food today. Because after that one last night, it's like, right, I need to stop this because I've got a pure impulse spending problem.
I got no impulse control. I gotta get rid of this app.
I don't at all, man, honestly. It's pure addictive fucking greasy food, do you know what I mean?
Yes, yes.
I was in really... Sorry, you go.
I was fine during lockdown when because I could actually take time to exercise. I could cook properly and all that. Now I just don't have any time at all.
See, because lockdown, everywhere started delivering, and I actually started buying more. Whereas the year before lockdown, I was in the best shape I've ever been in my life, and I wasn't eating any fucking garbage at all. So it was nothing to do with being inside, because I'm inside all the fucking time, but it was so easy to order from everywhere, because everywhere just started delivering. And I just got fucking hooked on the convenience.
Alright, I'm back. Sorry, my dog took a shit on the floor.
But that needs to end now.
Yeah, you don't need to let that keep happening.
Yeah, but he always does it when he's like hiding in a corner or something. So he never like does it in front of anyone.
Oh, you told me your puppy?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it's fucking... I would not want kittens again. People are like, oh, you said kittens because we got cats, and they're like, oh, we'll want a kid next. And then I was like, no, the fucking kittens for the first 6 months is the amount of responsibility I can handle. I cannot do any more than that, man.
Yeah, at least I'm only dealing with one puppy.
Yeah, it's just the constant fucking watching it and playing with it and all the rest of it, man. I can't be fucked with that.
It's okay. My other dog's playing with him.
That's the best part. Yes, when I had a puppy by itself, it was terrible. But then when I got my second puppy, it just played with the first one. Thank God.
Yeah, well, that's when we got the cats. It's the two of them, sisters, and they play with each other. My sister-in-law took one of the other ones, and she just got that on its own. And it's like, anytime she tries to leave the house, it just starts tearing shit up and fucking knocking things over. And then when she comes home, it's like scratching her and all that shit, man. Not aggressively, but just like, because it's so fucking starved for attention, man.
Mhm. See, that was when my older husky died a year and a half ago. The younger husky, like we went to work. I didn't think anything about it. You know, like I just gotta go to work. So I went to work like I would any other morning. I came home. She had escaped the kennel, destroyed the house. Like the first time she's ever done anything like that.
Yeah.
Because she wasn't used to being alone in the house.
Well, yeah, I mean, I went to my brother's wedding last year, and fucking we were away for 12 hours, I think. And it's the longest they've ever been left on their own with no one in the house. And they were like, cats get that fucking, when they get abandonment issue, they start having diarrhea and all that shit. And if it happens to cats for too long, their organs start shutting down because of dehydration. So they were actually really ill for a couple of days afterwards. But I mean, I never go out anywhere. My wife hasn't gone out anywhere for the last couple of years. And so we're always here, and they haven't gotten used to being on their own at all. So I think we're stuck here for the next 20 years.
Until they die.
Doesn't bother me. I don't want to go anywhere, but
Right. Yeah, I had to buy another, we had to go get a rescue dog because we couldn't, she wouldn't adapt to being by herself. It was just the same shit for like 2 months. I was like, all right, we gotta get another dog.
anyway, do we remember where we were last week?
I died.
We had just gotten out of the castle with the elf, and what's his face was dead, but coming back to life like a zombie.
Better than zombie.
So did we actually have you guys make camp? I think we did, didn't we?
No,
No,
I
we
think you said
never really made camp.
yeah, you said we're gonna do that when
Oh, we're going to roll
came
for that.
back.
Okay, so yeah, so you guys follow the path that's kind of led for you to the edge of that island, and you can see just like a sea of ice and mist out in front of you, stretching right up to the horizon. So this is probably where you want to make camp before you decide to set out across the ice afterwards. And if you're rolling to make camp, you can have an extra dice because there doesn't appear to be any like dangers or anything around.
I'll go that offsets the health dice I have.
Your rolls were fine last week. What's the worst can happen this time?
Oh, you've done it now.
Why say that? Why say that? I wasn't even thinking it. Oh man. Okay.
Your character's supposed to be pessimistic, not mine.
Alright, so I get 3, 4, get the 1 free, the 1 extra, we take that one away. Oh, thank God. Jesus Christ.
See, it's fine.
Yeah, so yeah, I mean, it looks perfectly safe. You're kind of out in the open, exposed, a little way away from the tree lines, just out on the beach, basically. beyond the reach of the tide when it comes in. You've still got this body of your fallen quote-unquote comrade that came with you, and it's tidally sort of wrapped up and stowed at the side of the camp away from where you're actually resting and eating. So yeah, you can mark as supplies to restore rest, relax, and reheat, which is fatigue, cold, and stress. And if you want to tell a tale, you can. If you want to cook to restore extra fatigue, you can.
I have absolutely no supplies left now.
Injuries I need to recover with, so
For injury, you'd have to treat it with supplies and do a roll.
I'll try and kill one of my injuries at least down a bit.
Pull up a sheet here so I can see the stats in front of me.
I got heal at 3, so at least that's something.
Yeah, just spend the supplies and you treat your injury. And that'll give you 1 injury tick back.
If I use medication for the roll, that'll do that.
Do you have a skill for healing?
I got medication.
Sure, you can do a roll as well if you want. You can get extra dice for the camp. Yeah, so you just heal 1. Just 1 tick. Because spending 1 supplies is always going to heal 1 tick anyway. I guess if you're going to do a healing roll, it's just to get additional ticks. Yeah, I imagine like you've sat down, you get out your kit, tending your wounds, and as you're sitting doing that, the body that's been wrapped up in tarp, canvas, whatever, at the side begins to wriggle slightly and move its arms.
Just your muffled voice.
Get a bow ready, aim an arrow.
I'm just not even looking at it. I'm just gonna pretend like I didn't hear anything.
Grab your
I
bow.
can't aim an arrow. I'm aiming at an empty bow because I've run out of arrows and I don't have no gear left.
So you instinctively reach for your bow and arrow, and then you're grabbing, and you're like, shit, because there's nothing there. And then the corpse sits upright, still shrouded in the blanket, the tarp, the canvas.
And are you sure he was dead?
Yep. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was dead.
He's just not even looking. He's probably just over there tending his wounds.
No, I'm looking up at the sky at the moment, like asking why.
You may want to shoot at the thunderbolt just to make sure.
He said shoot it with a thunderbolt. I don't even have thunderbolts.
Whatever you lightning and shooting thing or whatever you do.
Oh, my magic. Okay. uh, what was my roll for that?
So Eldon, I mean, you've been on this just nothingness, and then you met what you feel is almost like the creator, the large amorphous celestial body of the being that you were in communication with previously, and it has, in payment for the sacrifice that you made for it, has bestowed upon you the gift of a second life. You'll be reborn in its image. And then you find yourself waking up covered in a blanket, tied up. You feel refreshed, renewed, re-energized.
Just let out a big yawn and start just sitting up and wiggling around in the sack.
Okay, then I'll blast you with magic because you're not supposed to be alive. You're not supposed. You're not supposed to be alive, so you know.
Two successes is a hit, so that's going to do.
Is that going to destroy the sack around me?
I guess we'll do an injury to you.
Just imagine like a little high pitch. Ah! And then I blast you with magic because you moved.
Yeah, it's your body is smacked with the invisible concussive force, sends your body rolling into the snow, and the thing that's wrapped around you like flying off.
Slowly standing up is just... That's no way to wake someone up. Is
Go ahead and
You're
get-
dead. How the hell?
Yeah, I'm gonna get another one ready. I'm just going.
He's a zombie now. He's gonna eat our brains. Shoot him in the head.
He just like looks at them both, and you see like an eye open up where there shouldn't be an eye, just right through his clothing, and it just glows for a second, and he just says, "Calm down, everything's fine." I want to try to cast enchant on them.
Okay. Yeah, I mean that's enough that they will feel obviously cautious, paranoid, wary of you. But whereas naturally they might be inclined to just finish you off a second time, they're hesitant to do so because, like, well, hang on, there's a lot of kind of magic going on here in this island that we've seen already. Perhaps this is just like an after effect. Perhaps the fairy queen did perform some sort of wish for him and allow him to come back to life.
Doing it, kill him.
I have no arrows left.
Well, these are slightly beguiled by his magic, so
Well, I've already killed him once. I'm not doing it again.
yeah.
We both just have had like reasons to hesitate.
Like, how are you even still alive? That fairy bring you back or something? What?
Maybe. I remember something. What was it, though? Yeah, I'm sure it's nothing important. He just
yeah,
goes and
no,
sits by the
no.
campfire.
Having 3 eyes, yeah, not important at all.
As another note, the constant sort of chattering, whispering pleas of the frozen people that you could hear emitting from the stone previously. And although, you know, it didn't bother you so much, but it was uncomfortable. It's not a pleasant thing to hear ad nauseum. But now that is just the background hum to your being, and it brings you a kind of soothing pleasure.
Well, that's not terrifying.
Well, if you're here now, you may as well be get some sort of use.
Oh, what did you need?
Well, we still need to get to cross this river.
Lake.
Can you
but
still
yeah.
bring things to life? This lake. Got anything to help us get? Can you make something to help us get across without bringing it to life?
I'm just gonna put Norman in between me and him.
Norman just kind of like grunts as if you can sense what you're thinking.
I just want to like stick my hand in the water and just use alter yourself to just create like a road of vine-like tentacles that are just extending out from me, or like a floating platform.
I guess
Would that be something I can do?
Where the hell is alter self?
Or would be it was the one we decided on for the since shapeshift is different, since he's
Right. I don't think you could alter yourself, your body, to be that kind of size. I don't think you could change your mass that much to extend, because this lake extends for like 20 miles before you hit the other shoreline.
It should be frozen still, though, shouldn't it? Like
Well, I mean, as far as you can see from where you are, which is about 4 miles out or something, it's frozen, yeah. But whether the whole 20 miles of it's frozen is debatable.
I guess, can I use it to hold on to a chunk of the ice and just break it off to float across the unfrozen parts?
Well, it's completely frozen where you are at the shoreline, though.
I guess we'll just have to keep following the ice then.
Let's try and find your wolf thing, if you know where that is.
Oh, I mean, I think his wolf died when he died.
Or it's just wandering off somewhere.
I'm not aware that his powers have changed or it's any different.
Yeah.
Alright, then I'll just did you two do your rest first?
yeah, we need to get supplies so we can make the rest of the trip, or we could just try to make the trip without supplies.
I
Can I
can
try
hunt
to-
some supply.
Can I try to dig through the ice and grab some fish?
If you've got skill, you can do fishing stuff, yeah, foraging.
You want to do yours first then? I'll do mine.
Sure. I guess I'll roll to create a hole in the ice first.
Normally, he eats fish, yeah.
Yeah, so he just sets his hand on the ice and just you don't see it, but you just see like a shadow stretching out from his hand deeper into the ice.
So what I had noticed before was the way I'd actually written it was for each hit when you're hunting, foraging, getting supplies, everybody gets a supply. But I'm wondering if that would have been too easy, because you'd have managed to do it the other way kind of just fine.
And a bit of a struggle at sometimes, but yeah, we've done it for.
Yeah, so that's 2 supplies he's going to get from his strange method of ice fishing by just kind of changing the shape of his hand as it pierces the ice and plunges into the icy depths and spears fishes on the ends of what you'd presume to be his fingers.
He just pulls his hand up, and there are just 2 fish stuck on his fingers.
Right, hunting time.
Oh, damn, that's a roll.
That's a lot of acceptance. How many sixes?
So, yes, I mean, this island is an idyllic, untouched paradise. There is wildlife everywhere. Rabbits, stoats, minks, pine martens, deer, just everywhere. Life is just like blossoming. It's, despite it being winter and it's been so laden with snow and ice and such, the place is just like full of life. So yes, you're easily able to harvest 6 supplies worth.
Right,
Jesus
Ellen, I
Christ,
can
that's-
give you 3 of them if you want.
That's 8 supplies total. So how much does like everybody need? Does his new character even need supplies, or does he start fresh?
Well, I didn't have any supplies before I died, so I don't think I would just magically gain more supplies.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I need.
so
Sorry, you
yeah,
go.
so I got a full clock and Eldon's got a full clock, so that's 12 supplies. What do you have?
I've got 3 on my clock just now, so if we split up 12, then it's 3 each technically. Then so
Well, we only got 8. We only got 8 total. So
that's 8 total. Right.
so if I
So
get 3
three,
and
three,
Eldon
two.
gets 3, and then you can get 2. Yeah,
That's fine. Yeah.
and that should be plenty to get us to the next. Well, hopefully.
Yeah, I mean, say when you go now, you're not looking from your maps that are straight east, just right across the ice is a day's travel. It should take you right to the town, but that is across ice, which could be treacherous, given that you've got the rhino and such with you. So you might prefer to take the longer route, which is the shorter path across the lake to the north and then around the coast. But it's up to you guys. You
How
can
many
also
days
tell a
would it
tale
be?
here at the campfire. So
No, go ahead.
yeah, if someone wants to tell a tale at this camp, they can.
I think ideally it'd be Elodin possibly if he's lost like his traits, and the fact is obviously he's now got to tell us what happened to him.
If he wants to tell you what happened to him.
He tells a lie.
Well, when I died, I saw something. It was this strange magical land with creatures I'd never seen before. Like, the deeper I went there, the more comforting it felt. And it made me want to stay there forever. But then I met someone who told me that it wasn't my time yet and I still had things to do. So I came back.
I love how twisted that implication is.
I like how I was able to tell it without actually lying.
Yeah.
So welcome, that's brilliant. You came back to life just to make sure we can finish our quest and save these children.
Yes. Yes, save everyone.
You might have enchanted me, but I don't believe you for jack shit.
Excellent. You can
Oh
help
no,
me
he
think
just, he
back
just
on.
enchanted you enough not to make it so you don't kill him.
Right,
Or
because
at
like
least,
I have no doubt on my mind that you did not come back to save children.
so I guess that's why do you go on? And it's the same. I am not done.
I've done it like that. What trait are you thinking for that then?
I don't know.
You gotta take something like some kind of deceitful trait here.
Let's see, we've already got touched by the gods. Cunning might work.
Alright, yeah.
Scarred, not so much.
I'll go with cunning for now.
Yeah,
It fits.
cunning works. Yeah. Yeah, you're like, I can't tell them the whole truth. To see where they lead me. What benefit I can get from it. But yes, the night passes peacefully and without incident. And come the morning, the sky's clear, the sun's out, dazzling brightness. The lake in front of you is just like glittering, like a sea full of diamonds. That ever-present mist is still there hanging, although it doesn't obscure your vision. but you know this is some sort of mystical boundary around this place. And once you step into that mist, perhaps it'll become like fog again, and who knows what is on the other side of it. So, what kind of journey do you want to make?
I think we should just chance it straight across because it's about 1 day journey, and then we can move on quite quickly from there. If we end up going to shore, it's about 4 days.
Should be 3.
3, yeah.
You're quite low in supply, so a 3 day journey. You mean that would be you? That would be his out
Eh?
as well.
I'm okay doing straight across.
Yes, I'm sure we'll be fine.
Yeah. All right. So what's the bonuses and not bonuses here?
Okay. Are we prepared? Are we?
No, we don't.
No.
We're not at all full supplies.
Are we fresh?
No.
Everyone's got a
No.
fatigue.
I'm still injured.
I'm still injured and I've got a fatigue from the hunt, so
Right. Okay then. So route is not unknown. It is particularly treacherous. So you're going to lose 1 dice. And it's up to you if you want to get an extra dice from pushing your limit or traveling by night.
well, it's only 1 day's journey.
Oh, yeah. I'll do the extra fatigue.
So everyone's going to mark 2 fatigue for the roll in total. And that will give you an extra dice to negate the dice you've lost. Okay, so everyone takes an additional fatigue or cold, their choice, crossing the lake.
Old.
Cold.
Yeah, I think cold makes sense. Yeah, so you step out onto the ice, solid, it's firm. The going is pretty steady, slow and steady. You take your care to avoid the patches of ice that kind of look like they might be thinner. Completely avoiding parts where you can see it's not frozen completely over. But it's, for the most part, it's very thick and it takes the weight of the rhino the entirety of the way. As you've entered the mist, it becomes a fog, and then on the other side, it's kind of like a normal kind of weather. It's bleak, it's grey, clouded over. Everything just seems a little less bright and fantastical. But the weather is temperate, despite the cold. The wind isn't particularly harsh. It's not snowing or sleet or anything like that. But 20 miles out on the ice like that, inevitably the temperature is lower, and you take a cold from your journey. But by the end of it, a whole day, so it's going to be. But before the night kind of really kicks in, the sun is just lowering on the horizon. You can see the smoke from the town on the shoreline.
We've made it, yes.
This
Is
town
it
looks
just
familiar.
me? But all these towns look the same.
Well, they would be the same architecture. It's the same culture.
Yeah. Oh, I'm headed straight to the place that has a staple for Norman.
It's a place that doesn't have any curses, witches, anything bad.
I mean, from a distance, the most obvious things you can tell is there's a couple of plumes of smoke from the chimneys of some of the houses. You can see boats frozen in the ice at the dock, the harbour. The town's a little larger than the last village you were at, maybe twice the size. You don't see a bustle of people around. You do hear dogs barking. You can see some of them kind of tied up outside some of the buildings. So there's definitely more sense of life than the last village you were at. But if you want anything more than that, it's going to be a roll of some sort.
Well, my first job would be a tavern or an inn.
Yeah, there's definitely two buildings that look larger than the others, which could be like a chieftain's hall and or a tavern of some sort. For the one of them, at least, you can see a number of sleighs and carts sort of tied up and stacked around the side of the building.
Right, let's head to the building.
Yeah, I head to the inn, one of the buildings that look be an inn or the chieftain's hall.
Sure, it looks like it's some sort of tavern slash inn. It's got 2 stories to it, and it's got these wagons and stuff tied up outside. There's a dog you can hear, like excitedly kind of barking inside. You can see that there's like a fire going from the window and the cracks between the wood.
I'm just looking back because Eldon was the one who usually went in first towards these things, so I'm sort of like, should I send him in first?
Well, see, I got a reason to go in now, so I'm kind of excited to go into my first myself.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing stopping you. You can just stroll right up and open the door and go in if you want.
Yeah, I'm going in. I'm going to negotiate my stay here. I
Yeah.
got treasure to spend.
Yeah, you go up and push the door. You can see there's like a tall, thin woman with a kind of shawl thing around her shoulders, and she's standing behind what looks like to be a tavern bar. There's a couple of tables out, and there's 5 people, 3 on one and 2 on another table. They're like sitting, talking, eating, and there's a dog kind of like being thrown a ball in the middle of the room by a young boy. They all just like stop and turn to look at you as you enter. The conversations stop. And the woman behind the bar like smiles and raises a hand. She says, "Welcome, traveller."
Thank you. I'm gonna walk up to her and like, I need to stay here for the night, maybe a week. I don't know yet.
Of course, of course. We have a room free. Well, we have a room that you can sleep in. You're welcome to sleep in. Are you traveling alone? Do you have horses, wagon, or anything?
I have. What is Norman? He's not a horse. He's a
It's a
rhinoceros.
rhinoceros.
I have a rhinoceros and a sleigh.
The silence, and you just hear like a glass dropping and smashing on the floor. It's like, a rhinoceros?
Yeah. He's a young one. I caught him. Tamed him. He's my pack horse, pretty much.
Oh, well, this is unusual. I don't think I've ever heard of anyone taming such a beast.
I want to enter then after hearing the glass break.
Yeah, you almost like glide into the room. Nobody really hears you, and then you're just kind of like in there. One of the women sitting in one of the chairs nearest the door as you come in shivers as if she's felt something unusually cold.
It just like sneaks up behind him and just 5 seconds by yourself and you're already in trouble.
I'm assuming I also felt the cold then, if he got up behind me.
You just felt like you just feel like there's something that shouldn't be there.
I don't know who this man is.
Oh, well, you're also welcome, traveller. That's a strange coincidence, both of you coming in like this, but do you have a wagon or any friends with you?
No. Just like giving him the side eye and just like, it appears I'm traveling on my own.
So, you travelled here on foot? In this
He's talking
weather?
Yes, it's quite the exhilarating journey.
We see Runic.
I started bad interrupting this, and you're talking rubbish. Can we just get have you got a room at least for a few of us to stay in?
Yes, as I was saying to your companion here, we have a room that you can stay in. It's not much, I'm afraid, but it'll keep you warm and comfortable. Your rhinoceros, I'm not sure. Normally, we just allow people to tie up their their animals in the stables, but I'm not sure we can accommodate something as large as that. I mean, is it quite domesticated? Is there a chance that it's going to cause damage if it's unattended?
No, if it's unattended, as long as it's not bothered, it should be okay. Like if someone goes and like I don't know starts messing with it, I can't promise anything.
She looks as if she's considered for a second. Well, normally my husband handles the animals, but he's not here at the moment. Perhaps you could take it around to the stables and take one of the fence posts on the exterior and tie it up. I'm assuming it's going to be too large to fit inside with the other
Yeah.
animals.
Yeah. As long as I can just tie it to the building, it ain't got to be inside.
Yes, that should be fine. Just gives you directions. It's just around the corner of the building. There's a stable that you can use. So for your companions, you must be cold and hungry. Can I fetch you something to eat?
Yes, that would be very good. Thank you.
I'm gonna walk out and take care of Norman before I answer. I guess like when I get back, I'm gonna go take care of Norman first.
Can I sell my treasure here just now? Or do I have to find somebody for that?
Yes, I mean if you want to, you can convert ticks of treasure to recover ticks of debt.
Yeah, I finally get it down.
I'll just go and sit by the fire.
I assume we'll have to spend a day anyway for staying here automatically.
Well, you have someone before you'd have had your orator roll for it, but you have someone roll. You're basically making camp in town, and it's the person kind of haggling, negotiating is the one that makes the roll for it.
Oh, I can do that. I have persuasion.
Better than anything I have.
Here we go, stay in town. I need to change the order. I've got these rules written down. Right, so you haven't been here before. You don't have a reputation. You're going to lose one dice because this place is actually in decline. But other than that, you roll with your persuasion as you haggle with the head of the tavern to try and, see how cheaply you can stay here, for how long you can stay here, and what services are available to you.
And I'm guessing cunning would help with that.
Yes, cunning would definitely help with that. You sly bastard. Are you
Would-
angling to stay here for the week or what?
Yeah, I think people had health ticks, didn't we? I know I did, at least.
Yeah, I've got a health tick, yeah.
Maybe we can stay for a little while and offer our aid around the village.
Oh,
Hell no.
of course, you're more than welcome to stay as long as you need to. They're going to offer you warm food, somewhere to sleep. She also, as she's telling the story, she keeps mentioning her husband and her son. And you notice there's not many, or there's no adult males around that you can see. And she tells you all the men have set out eastward because there were attacks, raids happening from beasts from the north. And they decided to set out and to drive these beasts away. And that was 2 nights ago, and they haven't returned. But there is one man who stayed because his wife was giving birth, and he's staying at the far end of town. A young man by the name of Rorak.
Why does that name sound familiar?
Because it's one of the names of the guys that you're looking for.
Yeah.
Huh. Then I will go and talk to this Rorak, see what he knows.
Lorak was the first one that left the place, and
The younger one.
Came to.
I'll go and tell them that I found someone who has a name that seems strangely familiar, though I can't quite place my finger on why.
We just asked for a description. We should know what he looks like. We lived with him too.
Yeah,
Might
but he was
change
dead.
a little bit.
Who knows how long he was dead before he actually came back?
Dead? What? No, he shouldn't have been. What?
No, my guy was dead.
Oh no, I know you, but like me and Vunic could like go up to her and ask her for a description after you tell us that someone with the same name lives here.
Yes, she tells you that he came here just over a year ago. he met up with one of the village women, and they fell in love and got married, and she fell pregnant, and
Sly dog.
she's just given birth like a couple of days ago. But they haven't seen her since then. She was sick. She had the red pox, you know, the blisters all over her body and the swells. And they're not sure if she's still alive or not. Nobody's bothered to. Well, people have approached them to ask if he needs help and how they're doing, and he's just like told them to leave and go away.
Maybe I can offer my aid. I am somewhat of a healer.
That would be amazing. Yes, our doctor is left with the rest of the men. Yes, if you could see to her and make sure that she's okay. I mean, I fear that perhaps she's not, and he's just too overcome with grief to deal with the situation. But he is an infant in there with him, and you know the child must be looked after.
Of course. I'll make my way over there now. He just turns around and you just see a bunch of strange eyes that look like they're part of his cloak.
Remind me to say next time we're not with him.
She's gonna blink twice as if she's not sure that she saw that.
And then as soon as she blinks, they're just gone.
Yeah, the image of the eyes disappears, and she like puts her hand to her head as if she's taking her own temperature. The room that you're showing though is a pretty bare room with minimal furniture. It's just like piles of hay and fur on the floor for bedding, but I mean it's comfortable enough and it is warm.
So how much?
No,
How much
rest
did he negotiate the price to staying here for a week? Like, how much debt should I mark? Is what I'm asking, I guess.
Did I roll well enough that as long as we help them, we won't have to pay?
I'm just checking because you got a crit here. So you won't get extra dice for being here because it's in decline. When you stay in town, you mark a debt to fully restock your supplies and or your gear.
So it'd be one debt each if I did supplies and gear.
No, one debt will fully restock all your supplies and gear.
Okay.
Alright, so I'll use my treasure to get a debt back and do that. Do you have enough treasure for that?
Oh, my treasure clock was full. That's why I'm asking. So I want to see how much treasure I have left.
I have enough treasure to take down my debt, so yes, I can buy stuff now.
Each night you stay here is just like staying at a camp, and you're not going to pay extra money for that.
I use up my supplies, that'll take all my stuff back, so I'm back to full recovery. And then I can also write in a debt thing to pay off, so I get full supplies and
Oh, wait,
gear.
no, this
I can
is
buy
not-
bows again.
Wait a second, this is not how I've written this. So when you spend the night in a friendly settlement, you mark debt, and that allows you to take back a fatigue, a cold, a stress, and an injury as a long rest without marking supplies.
Right.
So
What's-
one day it'll give you like one tick back on everything.
So we can do that, or we can get supplies back.
Well, I mean, you could spend it on either, both.
Well, my debt's still at 5, so I gotta figure out how to get more treasure.
Right.
I've
Okay.
got more arrows now with my gear, so that's me started. Oh, yes, more ammo.
So I went ahead and spent the debt and got me all my supplies back. Right. So then I counter that with treasure, spend another debt. That's to stay the night here. But I'm not gonna take off because we ain't actually stayed the night here. But like, so how do we do it for the whole week then? So I don't mark extra debt. It's just what is good for the whole week, or
I guess with a crit, you would be good for the whole week.
Okay. I won't mark the health off or anything because it ain't been the week yet because we're gonna go check on the kid, but I'll keep that in mind. I got one treasure left.
I feel like one debt should really cover the week for a village for just like lodgings and stuff. Makes more sense, right? Because you're not getting a lot of treasure, really.
Yeah, because if you stay one day, you could always just camp out, or less time.
Well, I had like 5 treasure gain there, but I had nowhere to sell it until now, and and my debt was at full. So
Yeah, so I mean, I think one debt will cover you for like your week, your stay, especially with a crit. Because otherwise, you're like making camp outside the town, which seems kind of dumb. Okay, yeah, so one debt that'll refill your supply and your gear clock, and then your other debt is going to pay for the week. And every night you stay, you're going to get like 1 tick back on all your clocks. That sounds right, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
yep.
Playtesting. Yes, but you won't mark that until you've actually stayed and taken the rest.
Right, so I didn't get rid of my fatigue or cold or my health yet.
Yeah. So I mean, it's up to you guys. You know, it's getting dark now. You got here at dusk. You can go speak to this guy tonight, or you could rest up and then speak to him in the morning. It's completely up to you.
Probably best speaking into the morning, I think.
Sounds good to me.
I'm fine with that.
But yeah, so you're showing your room. Like I said, it's comfortable. It's warm. Um, Nothing eventful happens during the night. In amongst the howling of the wind, you can hear like the howling of animals far off in the distance, beyond the mountains. But aside from that, it's uneventful until the morning. In the morning, the snow started again. The wind's picked up a little bit. You can see a storm sort of brewing on the horizon. But the house for Rorik is over at the edge of the village, sort of northeastern side, as indicated by your host, whose name is Auga.
Right, let's go see. We might be able to finish at least half this quest.
Yes, maybe he has some information on that other one we're supposed to find.
Last I heard, his other one was supposed to be heading down here, so potentially Maz found him, and then something else has happened.
You could both be living here, and the other ones went off with the hunting party, or the party to repel the monsters or whatever.
Hopeful thinking. I like it. For a change.
Yeah, I mean, as you.
Well,
On you go.
hopeful for you, but I mean, if they're trying to drive off monsters, maybe he got eaten. You know.
I'm feeling optimistic for a change. I found out where I can kill the creature I'm hunting down, and that's a...
Yeah, so as you approach the cabin, you can see it's clearly been lived in. There's like firewood stocked up at the side of the cabin. You can see a sleigh. You can see some dogs that have been tied up. You know, they like start yapping excitedly as you approach. You can see smoke coming up from the chimney. There's no window in the building for you to peek through, but it looks much the same as the other cabins. But there's no signs of anything untoward or unusual here outside. So what would you like to do?
Yes, that's a door.
Knocking, pushing it in, kicking it in, what are you doing?
I'll go and knock on the door and ask if this is Vorak from Orgrim's house or whatever its name, whatever the city is, the town is.
Oh man, was the village you came from.
Yes, this is Rorax of Ormrin's house.
Yeah, after a few moments, you can hear some stuff moving about inside. The door opens. A man, kind of mid-20s. His hair kind of bestraggled. He looks very sweaty. He's topless. He's got like a baby held under one arm, and you know he looks very kind of dishevelled, bestraggled, in a state of wild confusion almost. Opens the door and he takes a strange look as soon as he sees you. I don't know you. Why are you here at my house? I told them not to bother me.
I think I'll just wave at him. Hello, Warwick. And then, like, your mom sent us out to find you.
Points his finger at you a couple of times and waggles it. I recognise you. From the village.
Yep.
Evander. Yes?
Yep. That would be correct.
What are you doing here?
Your mom sent us to find you and your brother.
But she wants us to come home?
Well, I think she mostly just wanted to know that you were alive.
Yeah, well, as you can see, I'm very much alive. My beloved gave birth to our daughter not 2 nights ago, and it's like rubbing his head and kind of looking back into the cabin and then back out to you guys, as if he's unsure how to really proceed with the conversation. The baby kind of makes a soft sort of gurgling sound in his arms, which immediately gets his attention. Oh, she must be freezing standing at the door like this. Please come in.
Confusion.
He goes back inside the cabin.
I'm just like sitting on a chair like I was there as soon as you opened the door.
He looks at you like hard a couple of times. Evander, is this one with you? I don't recognise him.
Unfortunately.
It's a strange
He's-
looking fellow.
He's kind of
And
like
I
a
thought
healer.
everyone in the village knew who I was.
Raises his eyebrows.
Good to know that my reputation doesn't precede me.
Raises his eyebrows, like squints at you a few times. Elodin? What's happened to you? You look different.
Yes, I went through many things since we last saw each other.
Or have you been sick? You don't look well.
On
Let's
the
just say-
contrary, I feel better than ever.
Let's just say he's more crazy than he used to be.
So into the cabin, it's pretty much one room, the stove, a bed at the side, and then the far end, a sort of partition wall's been put in, which is like 3/4 of the way across, and there's like a section beyond that. But only this side is kind of illuminated by the fire. That sort of end of the building would normally be used as food storage or something. There's no sign of anyone else in here apart from him and the baby.
What happened to the your wife? Does she need healing?
She's not been well. She's sick. Yes, it couldn't hurt to look at her. She's in the back room there.
Excellent, excellent. I'll be back in a moment.
It instinctively like grabs you by the upper arm when you move to go to the back room, and just like stares at you wild-eyed for a moment, as if he's about to say something, but he just continues to stare at you.
Does Eladin at this point just have some kind of just unsettling aura? Like he's something that shouldn't be there?
I mean, maybe you're thinking that, but I mean, you know, I'm not saying that's what it is.
Or is it just because he looks more sick than a healer should look?
Could be a number
Do you
of
want?
things.
Do you want one of us to go with him?
I.
Do,
No,
do you want to go
no,
with
no,
him?
no. It's too dangerous. You shouldn't. In fact, no. You shouldn't be in here at all. And he like shoves you away back towards the door.
You mean too dangerous?
No, this is a
Don't
mistake.
get
You
that.
shouldn't be in here. Leave us alone.
Oh, how about you and the doctor go back there? We'll take care of the baby. That way you can take care of whatever's dangerous.
Yes,
Do,
come with me. I'm sure I can fix everything.
do you want to roll with your
Yes.
persuasion?
Sure.
And you can use your cunning. He holds the baby tightly. He still hasn't let go of your arm. It's just kind of like, you know, push you away with it and then like still held on to it. He doesn't seem to be sure if he wants to come or go. He really seems like confused and indecisive. He's just kind of like reacting without really knowing why he's reacting. But you're convincing enough that he won't give up the baby, but he kind of like steps back towards the back of the room, holding your arm and pulling you with him, Eldon. But he says to the others, "No, you should both leave. It's too dangerous for you both in here."
Well, I think I'm
Uh,
of your mother than I am of you. She did make me come all the way across the country.
you two should go and clean up so you don't catch the pox.
You know me from the village. I bring medicine to people all the time.
The baby makes a kind of whimpering sound, catching his attention again, and he lets go of Eldon's arm. Oh, she's hungry, I know she is. She hasn't eaten anything yet. I don't know how to feed her.
Oh, the baby.
What?
We'll go get the baby food. Okay, that's what we can leave your house so you'll feel better, and we can get the baby food.
Yes, I suppose that's what needs to be done. I'll be right here with her.
Let's look over the baby.
Are you asking to look over the baby, or are you just looking over the baby?
I'm just having a look over the baby, and then trying to see if I notice anything.
Sure, give me a roll. You're sharp-eyed. And the baby looks small. There's nothing remarkable about it. Although, you know, the way he's holding her and he's got it wrapped up in a blanket. You can't get like a good, solid, close look at her. But from what you can see, it doesn't look as if anything's really going on. But obviously you're concerned that if it's been 2 days and the baby's not been fed, or, you know, something's wrong with the mother, it could be an issue.
Yeah, 2 days no food. I'm surprised the baby's alive.
See them bring some sort of medicine for the baby. Might help boost its strength.
Yeah, I'm gonna go back to the inn. The hostess lady, maybe she can help me out with the food for the baby.
Sure. So you're leaving. Runic, are you going with him, or are you staying here?
I'll go with him to get medicine.
Okay. So you two go off. He's standing there with you, and he's just like, you know, talking to the baby and wrestling it and saying, "It's going to be okay. It's going to be okay." You haven't heard anything from the room at the back yet.
While he's doing that, I'm just gonna put my hand on his shoulder. so that he looks up at me and just tells him, "As long as you do what I say, everything will be fine." And extra eyes just grow out of his head, out of Eladin's face, just looking at him.
Are you casting your spell when you do this?
Yes.
Okay. Sounds like you better be. I don't think extra eyes is what he wants to see right now.
Yeah. Would cunning help with this? I guess.
No, but you're touched by the godswood.
All right.
I have no idea if leaving him alone in that house with them people was okay.
Yes, the extra eyes open up and blink, but for maybe he doesn't see them. Maybe it's part of the enchantment. And he breathes a heavy, deep sigh, and his shoulders drop just a little bit in his posture. And he reaches out and puts his free hand on your shoulder. Eldon, I'm so glad you came. All three of you. It's so good to see a friendly face. And for you, Eldon, you can smell the child in his arms, and it smells like the sweetest bread you've ever smelt in a bakery. It's absolutely tantalizing. So, what would you like to do? He's completely beguiled with you, so.
First, why don't you lead me to your wife?
He nods his head and looks over to the room. I haven't been back there, Eldon, since the other night. I'm not sure I can look.
Then why don't you stay out here with the child for now?
Just nods his head without saying anything and takes a step back.
All right, I'll go. While he's doing that, I'll go into the back room and see what's going on.
So yeah, you go in the back room and it's dark. You can see the candle that's kind of burnt itself all the way down on the shelf. There's like a little makeshift bed that's been put in the corner, and you can see what looks to be a body with a blanket over it. You can just see the feet sticking out the bottom, and they're cold to the touch, and they look almost blue. There's blood all over the blankets.
He'll just go around and just unceremoniously just pull the blanket off and throw it to the side to see what's going on.
The body of the half-naked woman is just covered head to toe in these large red blisters. You've already seen the red pox take its effect on your journey, and this is undeniably the results of that. Probably the childbirth was just like the last strain her body could take.
And I'm guessing she's dead.
Oh, 100%, yes. You two guys that left to get the medicine and such, you go back to the tavern, and your hostess Alga is there. She sees you. Did you speak to him? Is she okay?
Feeling something is going wrong.
We haven't seen the woman, but he's acting like he's in shock.
It's what I feared. I didn't want to push him because I didn't know how he would react, and my husband or no one else is around to help. But if he spoke to you, I mean that's more than he's done with any of us in the last couple of days.
We come from the same village, but more importantly, he said the baby hasn't eaten in a couple of days.
Oh my god. Yes. I can find someone to help with that right away. She runs off out of the door and comes back a couple of minutes later, and she has a younger woman who looks to be sort of like early 20s herself, who has her own baby in her arms. I'm sure we can get the baby fed if you can convince him to let her feed. Or let it feed.
Well, he's talking to us, so at least there's a an option.
And the woman's like, it's a girl?
The baby, yes.
It's an air of excitement with them, but also the concern. We should go immediately. There's no time to spare. Is there anything else? Oh, blankets. Blankets. We should get blankets. A washcloth? Is she dirty? Like, what kind of state are they in?
He hasn't let us see the baby. He ain't give it he won't let go of it so far.
The baby looks fine, what we could tell.
Okay, Helen, she says to the women, she says, you go with these men to help the child. I'll fetch some blankets and some supplies.
I'll ask for some specific advice to make a wee medicine out for her, for the baby.
Well, I mean, that would come with your own supplies, yeah.
Such nice people, Jesus.
I know, and Doc's over here making me think about doing terrible things.
I'm not making you do anything. This is you doing.
You may have a second death if you kill the baby.
Yeah, I was thinking this. I was like, if I come back and that baby's gone, like
Well,
you're the
when you
most
guys-
suspicious person in the room.
You
so far.
guys left him there.
I know. I said that. I was like, I don't know if that was a good idea. Like, I don't know if that was the greatest.
Imagine
idea.
at this point you two are kind of looking at each other like, why are we letting this guy just come along with this when he's clearly trouble?
So, like, as long as they're away from him, the urge to kill him just slowly builds back up.
Yeah, they start coming to the senses a bit more.
Your spell's wearing off gradually.
But you two and the young women make your way over to the cabin. After you've seen
Can
them,
I?
yeah, on you go.
Sorry, before they get back, I want to do something or try to do something.
Yeah.
Can I somehow create some sort of eldritch abomination that looks like this woman?
What spells do you have?
The alter self one. I was thinking it would just somehow he breaks off a piece of himself to
No, you could
create
make
some kind of
you could
monster.
make yourself look like her, or a facsimile of her, but you can't like create an extra one.
All right, sure. I'm going to. I'll use I'll just do a full prototype. I'm just going to use the alter self to consume her body and look like her for a minute, for a little bit.
You are like a terrible, terrible person.
It's okay. It's for a good cause.
Or who the real bad guy in this stories are.
The good cause was that, so he hands you the baby.
Okay, give me the dice roll. You're blessed by the
Okay.
god, touched by the gods will count in your favour. It won't stand up to scrutiny, but yeah, it's passable for her.
And I mean, he's still entranced, so he'll be fine. I just
Oh.
gotta finish it before they get back.
He's in a state, yeah. So what do you want to do? Well, you've got this sort of glamour and active.
I want to try to convince him that he should follow Eladin and leave the baby here in the village until it's older and safe.
Okay, so you should go with you guys, but you should leave his daughter behind because she's safer here.
Yes.
Right. Okay, so you step out, and then he's like, as if he's seen a ghost. Ha ha ha. Kim is how? No, that you can't be real.
I am, but I don't have long. Your friend was able to bring me back from the other side for just a little bit.
You know, breaks down in tears and starts professing how sorry he is. You know, how he should have done more, how this is his fault.
Don't worry, you can make it up to me.
How? How can I ever make it up to you?
Go with them. You need to follow them and find a new path.
Sure, shaking his head through the tears. You know, he wants to get close to you, but he feels like he can't because the protective part of him is kicking in with the child. So, but I can't go with them. I can't travel with her.
She'll be safe here in the village.
You want me to leave our daughter behind?
Yes, there's I saw something on the other side that you have a great purpose you need to fulfill. Otherwise, the world won't be safe enough for her.
But surely she is my purpose. I've never felt so sure about anything else in my life.
Don't worry, everything will be fine. And then he just starts kind of fading and, or not quite fading, but unraveling and sinking into the floor.
Sure. Why didn't you give me a roll with your negotiation and have an extra dice? See how,
For mind control.
I'd see how persuaded he is by
For being a piece of shit. I'm using his dead wife.
Oh, you get the extra dice because you look like her. Yeah. Okay, he's like, I'll do that. I'll do as you say. Okay, I'm so sorry. I'll make this right. I promise.
Hey, it's not my fault. I'm trying to create a cult here.
Sure, and your form kind of like wriggles and falls to the floor, but you don't actually fall through the floor. You just kind of like slip backwards as a series of tentacles that join up again into your actual form behind the other side of the partition.
He said, "Not my fault. I'm just trying to make a cult here."
You two guys, you can like bursting in because the longer it's taking you to get back to the cabin, the more you're kind of concerned about the fact that you left him here alone with him. So you can like bursting into the cabin. Just as you can see, Rorik is on his knees crying, one hand reaching out to the darkness in front of him, and the baby in his arms. You can't see Eldon when you first step in.
At the moment I hear the door open, I'm just going to step back through the partition, just moving my hands like I just had to do something.
Rorik just reaches out and grabs your clothing and just like sinks his head into it, just like bawling his eyes out. And he's like, thank you so much.
Looking at Ellen strangely, says, "What did you do?"
I helped him. His wife had passed away from the labor. I had helped him move on.
Yes, she spoke to me. I know now what I must do. Thank you,
hell
Eldon.
no.
Thank you so much.
She spoke. Oh hell no! You didn't cast your freaky little revival shit on her, did you?
No, nothing of the sort.
What is he?
I just used her body as a medium to guide her spirit back to the world for a moment. It's something I learned how to do on the when I was in the afterlife.
I'm not gonna cause problems, but I don't believe you. I got that
Well,
jaded.
you don't believe anyone.
Yeah, I don't believe anybody. That's why I said that. I'm not gonna do anything about it, but I don't believe you.
I just get a shiver down my spine, thinking, "Oh God, what have we done? Just leaving him here for long."
So Rorik turns around and he's still crying. He kind of gets himself up off his knees, and he sees the young woman Helen with you as well. It's like, Helen, oh thank God you're here. She hasn't fed. Can you feed her, please? She needs milk. And of course, he gives her over, and the child is able to feed. And he just stands there in like wonder and amazement as he watches his daughter feed. He's like, is she going to be alright, do you think? Has it been too long? And Hellwoman's just like, I don't know. It's a precious time. Hopefully she'll be okay. We can only do our best. And he puts his hands on her shoulders and he's like, I need to ask something great of you, Helen. Kim has showed me things and told me things that I must do. And one of them is to leave my daughter here. Oh, I haven't even named her. I must leave her here. And I must return home to my mother.
Well, there's no need to leave here just now. We still need to find your brother as well. Is he not being... We last heard he was passing by here as well.
Thurin? Yes, he's with the others. They went off to chase those monsters.
What? You mean the other men from this village?
Yes. How many days has it been? He looks around. At this point he's came out of trance and he's only just now realising he hasn't slept for like 2 days. Yes, there was a raiding party. They killed a handful of them and they chased them away over towards the mountains. But that was nights ago. They haven't returned?
Not that we've been told.
So what mountains did they head towards?
The mountains, those to the east. You can clearly see them behind the village.
Right, we need to get your brother back first. There's no point coming back without both of you. I'm not making one. I'm not making two. I'm not making two journeys here. Spend some time with your daughter. Help her prepare things for yourself as well for the journey back home eventually. We'll go find what happened to the rest of them.
Yeah, he's kind of nodding, allowing himself to feel the exhaustion that's been building up in him for the last 40 hours or so. Then he like just collapses into one of the chairs and breathes a deep sigh.
I think we should just rest up here for a week and that just to make sure the place is prepared and protected, or I think we should just head straight out. Depends how bad our health ticks are, that's what I'm thinking.
Well, you both are still injured, or hurt, or health ticks.
We should probably like he said his wife had smallpox, right? We might want to like take care of that situation. Or
Yes.
bedpox.
Or
He's like, yes, of course we must. We cannot bury her. We'll have to burn the body.
don't worry, I've already cast a purification ritual on it.
So imagine Runic and Evander
Giving
giving
you
each other
side
side
eye.
eyes. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I didn't know you even knew such a spell.
Do we go back to the D6 rolls?
You just go back there and all that's left is like a bloody blanket and a few spots on the floor.
Or did you absorb her body when you were trying to take her form?
Yeah, because he
I love it.
he pretty much just ate her dead body.
Yeah, I love it.
Vander,
Where the
please,
the
we don't leave
purification.
him alone.
Purification means like the body just disappears. Like I don't understand.
I'm just looking at Vander and grabbing him on the shoulder and saying, we don't ever leave him alone again.
Why did we not kill him the moment he came back? I don't understand.
Rorik, for his part, kind of like reaches up a hand to offer a handshake to Eldon. I can't thank you enough, Eldon. I'm so glad you guys came. Just exactly when I needed you. If there's anything I can do
Yeah, we were.
to help repay you, anything at all, don't be afraid to ask.
Eldon's like, that's number one on my cult list. That's not.
Okay, so what do you want to do now?
Right, that's I'm thinking. Do we do rest quickly for a week so we get our health tip filled out, or should we head straight out because obviously there's a risk of life for the other ones who are being kidnapped by the bandits? How long have they been missing for again?
Couple of days already.
Yeah, 2 nights, 3 days, I would say. Well, 3 nights because you guys just stayed the night actually.
Mm-hmm. You might as well go ahead and stay the week. See if they come back.
Yeah, that's the risk of it. That's the catch. There's a risk of what's happened to them if we leave them too long, but do we want to go up there when we're slightly not prepared?
Completely up to you.
If we stay a week, we can reinforce and defend the village for the time. So that would mean the village is defended at least.
My
And
vote's just
then
stay a
if we
week
head up,
anyways. We stay a week, we get information, then we'll know more about the situation.
Yes, I think we should stay a little while and help where we can.
help and prepare.
Imagine Evander, you don't like the way Eldon keeps looking at that baby.
I probably don't. I probably don't like the way he looks at most people, especially the baby.
It's like he's changed since he came back.
You're not our same fun-loving, creating giant houses to move person anymore.
It's like, I can't believe I've said this. I actually preferred it when you were sticking dead animal parts on the broomsticks.
I think I must have been the week trying to figure out why I didn't kill you when you came back from the dead.
I know why didn't I run out of arrows? Right, so we'll stay a week, get our health ticks up, and then we'll head up towards the mountains and see what we can do about the bandits then.
And maybe the villagers will have like some information for us or something about what's going on.
Okay, so over the course of the week, what kind of information you try to tease out of people, and if you're doing any kind of fortification, who's doing it, who's leading it?
I think I'll do the information because it's kind of what I did before. So
Okay, so what do you want to roll for this?
would Scout happen to help me at all in this? Or quick-witted?
Quick-witted, perhaps.
Otherwise, I got no other applicable skills. I don't think.
It's more social skills you would need.
Yeah, I don't have any of those.
What other skills have you got?
Scout, fighter, pathfinder, sailor, beastmaster.
Well, fighter
Am I?
probably better for fortifying because then it'll say sort of like combat type things. Because I've got peasant, which would be more better for pulling information from people, talking to people around the street and what they
I
know.
actually kind of think peasant would be better for fortification stuff because it's about structures and labour work.
Yes, because I've got Persuader and Commander.
Yeah, you could ask Eldon to talk to people. He's a charming guy.
Oh God.
He seems exceptionally
The whole-
charming now.
I guess
The
I'll be
whole
going.
villagers are a cult.
I guess I'll be going
It's
with them.
otherworldly.
So I guess I'll be stuck with Eladin because we've decided not to leave him alone anymore.
There is an actual engineering skill, so that would be the skill you would want for actual construction. But peasant could do some sort of simple peasant fortifications.
Well, I'll do a peasant for the fortifications then, and if you want to try and gather information then.
Yeah, we'll let Eladin gather information, and I'm just his watchdog because we decided not to leave him alone anymore.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so you can add a dice to his to help him. Try to tweak information. You're like jumping in and patching up the story when it sounds a little sketchy.
Yes.
Don't worry, I'm sure everything will be fine.
Right, so what specific kind of information are you trying to get?
Just about the beastmen that attacked.
Okay, I
Like,
mean,
what was-
everyone's pretty. Sorry, what are you saying, Drac?
Well, I was gonna say like numbers or something like that. Like that'd be the most important thing.
Right, okay, so there had been like raids, mostly at night, coming in, stealing supplies, killing dogs and livestock. They are some sort of like half beast, half men kind of creatures. The men had become concerned that, although these are things that crop up now and again during the sort of harsh winter months, but these ones that had shown up seemed to have some sort of like crude, primitive weapons that they'd forged, and they were concerned that they had access to a smithy or someone was supplying them with, metals and weapons. So that's when the men decided, rather than just like defending against the raids and waiting for them to attack again, they would just take the fight to them and go out and drive them off. So these creatures, they call them gnolls. They're not unknown here, but usually they only come in small raiding parties in the middle of the night. But they were getting more brazen and potentially armed. And Runic, do you want to roll your peasant and tell me what kind of fortifications you're attempting? It won't be any advanced engineering stuff, so you're not going to be doing like siege machines or palisade walls or anything like that, but you could probably set up some like crude barricades and whatnot. Batten down.
And just seeing if any of my traits might apply to anything, but I don't know. So I thought Heart of Battle would, but that's sort of what readies up to violence more than anything.
Yeah. That'd be more for the actual fighting.
And same with fire and stuff, so yeah, just my peasant plus Snold. No, I was going to try and construct sort of like sort of spiked posts like out the outside, so I thought trying to climb towards the walls and stuff, or try to get over.
Sure, but I mean the village doesn't really, or the town rather, doesn't really have walls. So imagine, like I said, you're tipping over wagons and carts and stuff to make rudimentary walls, and attaching stakes to try and create spikes, kind of barricade around those. Yeah, so yeah, you're going to make them, and they're very crude and rudimentary, like I said, and anyone else looking at them is going to think those aren't likely to stand up to much. And as the days go by, and that storm that you saw in the horizon kind of like rolls in, the clouds get darker, the wind picks up, the snow starts to fall heavier, and before the end of the week, you find yourselves in the midst of a great winter storm.
Let's try and head towards these mountains then carefully. We know where we're going towards them now, so we've got an idea and path and all sorts, and we're all fully healed, so
Yeah, I mean, you're just going to roll to make the journey up to the mountains to try and follow these guys. It's been so long now. They've never came back, and it's been more than a week now. And any kind of tracks they had are unlikely to be visible now, especially with this storm kicking in.
So it's been a week, and the men never came back, and they never attacked again, like the beastmen.
They haven't attacked, no.
Can Like, was that like a frequent or was it like a infrequent? Was it kind of like a pattern to the attacks? Did they noticed?
They were getting more increasingly frequent, and that's why they're getting concerned that it's probably better to take the fight to them rather than waiting for them to end up coming in force. Especially if they're going to be wielding weapons and potentially armor.
So up to you guys. Like, do we want to try to go out in the storm and find it, or do we want to wait for them to attack us and then we can just track them back? I'm assuming if the men ain't came back yet, they're probably not gonna come back.
Maybe they're just holed up somewhere against the storm.
Or they're kidnapped and held hostage to use for labor.
Either way, I still think waiting for the monsters to attack us and then following them back will be better than blindly going off into the mountains.
We could wait for ages for the monsters to attack. That's the thing.
Let's. Why don't we wait until the storm ends at least?
Well, if the attacks were increasing already and then all the men are now gone, I think they would have even more reason to attack more often.
To the vote then. Do we stay in the village then till the storm, or do we head up there and try and attack what's in advance?
Well, I guess I want to stay till the attack, but I'll at least stay until the storm's gone, I guess.
Yeah, I'm fine with staying until the storm's gone.
Okay, we'll stay until the storm's gone then.
I mean, with our luck, they might even attack during the storm.
Imagine that, yeah.
Really,
no.
really, you just gonna bring that up? Like it's not gonna happen now.
Oh, I thought it was going to happen already.
To be fair, it was going to happen already if you're just going to wait. So, I mean, you guys can decide who's taking watch that night.
I guess I'll take first watch.
Yeah, Vander, so the wind is howling, visibility is next to zero, midst of a blizzard that has battered the town for the last 3 days. It shows no signs of abating. It's late in the night, you're on your own, on a clouded over dark sky, very poor visibility. When you can hear howling of animals in the distance. At first there's only one or two, and then it sounds like dozens of them echoing around the mountain range, coming in close to the valley or the ends of the valley where the lake is, where the village sits. Do you want to roll a scout roll for me?
Yeah.
Obviously your sharp eye comes into it. Yes, you hear them coming. You got a general idea of the sort of direction they're coming from, the northeast side, or sorry, southeast side of the village. You're behind. Well, if you want to be, you can be behind the kind of protective barriers that you've erected, as flimsy as they kind of be.
But, I'll be behind Norman.
Okay, would you be like riding Norman around when you're on patrol, you think?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm sure you're riding him around. Visibility so low, you don't know, exactly how many there are or what kind of approach they're taking with that. But you catch sight of one of them, sort of like scurrying between two of the carts that have been overturned as a makeshift barricade. You just see its dark, lithe figure get down on all fours and kind of just squeeze itself through the gap and into the village.
I guess I'm gonna try to to hit it with magic as it's trying to squeeze through, so like right when it pops out, I
Okay.
guess. And then is there? I guess I don't know if there'd be a way to alert the town or not.
You could spend like a gear to have like a horn or something or a whistle.
Right, and then I'll do that. I'll blow a horn while shooting him with magic, I guess. Spend one gear. Fatigue.
Yeah, you throw out your magic bolt and it slams into the barricade, sending wood and splinters flying in all directions. And you catch the back end of the creature as you do so, and it flips up into the air and cracks down on the ground several meters away. You watch it for a second to make sure it doesn't move again, but you must have got it good because it doesn't move or flinch. It's then you hear the howls increasing as if they're like right next to you, and you turn around and you can see just in this small scattering of like piles of wood and debris and like sort of outhouses and such, you can just see like dark figures in the shadows kind of like moving between them.
I guess it'll be a game of cat and mouse, because I'm gonna run away like the mouse.
Very large woolly mouse.
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna like have Norman like do like a little jog. Guess I'm not just a sitting target while I try to fight back.
Do you want to give me a roll with your riding, I guess?
Yeah, that'll be fine. 4.
Yes, I mean, you've had a whole week of practice with Norman on these patrols now, and you're able to just giddy up and get him to kind of trot off in the direction to keep away from them. The beasts perhaps aren't keen on tackling something the size of Norman. It's probably not something they were expecting.
I'll back in a wee sec, alright?
Okay. But do you want to spend supplies for a horn or something?
Yeah, I said I spent a gear for a horn.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and as you're kind of like leaving, you just like blow into his horn as loud as you can. Elodin, you and Runic are probably like awoken from your room in the inn when you hear the horn sound.
I'll be right back. I got a phone call.
Well, take a few minute breaks here then, I guess.
Yeah, we'll take 2 minutes.
Use the bathroom and noise.
Just wait, Alex.
Right in. Right in.
It's fine.
Sorry.
No, you're good, buddy.
That's fine. We've
So
got
I
plenty
was-
of time.
Debating how evil my character should be.
You're gonna have to be sneaky about it.
Yeah. Very sneaky unless you want to get killed again. I'm not sure resurrected the second time's going to happen.
No, probably not.
Yes, but you two are awoken to the sound of this war horn blaring out in the night. And as soon as you wake, you can hear the howling and almost like a devilish laughter on the wind. So what do you guys want to do?
Go out and hear it, see what's happening.
Okay, so you run. I'm assuming you like grab your weapons and stuff and then run downstairs in the inn, burst out the front door. You know, outside it's white with snow, so there's enough that you can see against the shadows, but you know the moon and the stars are blotted out by clouds. The wind is intense. The blizzard snow is back and forth, so visibility is very low. So confronted with the scene in the cold, what do you do?
I'm gonna try and get onto the roof, see if I get a height advantage, see if I can see anything.
So you want to clamber up the side of the inn to get on the roof? Okay,
Yeah.
give me a roll for perception of some sort. Sharp-eyed would definitely come into it.
It depends because I like climbing things and stuff like that.
It's not the climbing I'm really bothered about, it's being able to see things, so if you had scout, I would see you scout.
Would Hunter apply though?
The hunter could apply if you're looking for tracks and signs of movement, yeah.
I'll use Hunter then with it.
And I'd say I have -1, because it's for nighttime, low, there's low visibility. All right. I mean, right away you can see the large like shadow image figure outline of Norman at the side of the village. You can see where your barricade has been blasted away, and you can see a number of figures sort of like weaving their way between the buildings and the barricades into town. And you can clearly see that there are 7 of them.
Yeah, I think I'll just be taking pot shots at them.
So you're up on the roof and you can see 7 of them, Runic.
While he's doing that, I'm just gonna walk out of the inn and just stand in the middle of the road, just looking around.
Are you trying to see what's happening? Is that what you're going for?
No, he's just looking around at the weather. It's kind of
Define doesn't think creatures of the night are going to hurt him, kind of thing.
yeah, he's just spreading his roots around him just in case.
Okay, do you have anything that would give you a sort of night vision or a sense of awareness?
Just, I don't know, touched by the gods maybe.
Okay, so if you want, you can roll 2 dice. Or use the outside. Yes, just at the last second you turn, is this hulking 5-foot-tall, hairy, bulky, canine creature with a mean-looking ragged blade in one arm just kind of dives forward to try and drive the blade right into you, and you turn to the side just as it does so, and it skims right past you, runs past you around the side of the building, out of your sight.
Well, that was unexpected. He just starts walking in that direction to follow it.
Evander, what would you like to do after you've ridden away from them?
I don't really want to be away from them. I just want to stay ahead of them, and I'm just gonna take them apart. So I kind of make them think that tonight's not the night. Maybe they should just leave. Not necessarily trying to kill any of them. Just aggravate them, I guess.
So you want to turn around and sort of threaten to charge them or intimidate them?
Sure.
Okay, do you have anything in the form of intimidation?
Do it just be fighter or beastmaster, I guess, for
I think Beastmaster
Norman
would come
could.
into, yeah. Let's see if there's an intimidation skill. I don't think there is. Yeah, I'd say use Beastmaster because you're using the beast, and you can get extra dice because Norman is very intimidating.
Alright, that gives me 4 dice.
Yes, I mean, you can see 3 of the creatures that haven't quite entered the town yet, and they're sort of skirmishing, keeping their distance from you. You can hear them yapping, and it sounds like they're laughing the whole time. You can just hear it in the wind, and it's a taunting, devilish kind of laugh. And you're going back and forth and sort of warding them away, and Norman lowers his horn and sort of threatens to charge. Maybe he does a kind of faint charge, and then you get him to haul back and stop. And it is successful in the fact that they keep their distance away from you, and seem to be too preoccupied to kind of leave you to enter the town. But they almost seem to be enjoying this kind of back and forth, this sort of playing around that you're doing with each other.
Oh my Jesus.
So there's 3 out there with Norman. 1 ran past Eldon around the corner of the building. Eldon is walking around the building to follow it. What do you want to do, Runic?
I'll shoot at the other 2 that are sort of just, they're not.
Other
Well, they're not-
3,
well, they don't-
but yeah, you can pick one.
Yeah, I'll shoot one also if they don't know I'm there.
Sure. The building across from the inn is just a house and you know the boy and his mother live there, and you can see one of them sort of like testing the door, pulling on the rafters, and it starts to like clamber its way up the building to look for an opening in the roof. So if you're going to shoot it, do you want to give me a roll with your archery?
Yep. So archery, sharp eye, and normal dice.
Yeah. Ooh, that's nice.
Headshots.
It is indeed a headshot, just through the air, and the body goes slack and just tumbles and rolls off the roof.
That's one down. Let's see have a competition who can kill the most.
Okay, Legolas.
Killing him's like a
Sorry.
thing from my mind.
So Eldon, are you just like walking following this thing? Your tentacle feet kind of just rolling across the snow?
Yeah, just his arm is slowly forming into a, I guess just a giant reptilian mouth.
Okay, do you want to roll alter self for that? I'm trying to think what like a partial success for that would be. Yeah, the end of your arm kind of forms into a reptilian mouth. Your fingers curl around and turn into the fangs. Your knuckles into the snout. And as you turn the corner with this half-formed arm, the creature is like there in a ready position, crouched, waiting for you. And as soon as you turn the corner, it leaps in the air, raises both hands up with its blades to bring them down on top of you. What would you do?
I want to try to eat its head with the mouth.
Okay, roll with your alter self. You're going to take an injury as it drives the crude blade into your shoulder, but then you drive your arm, this mouth, up into the thing's throat and just bite a chunk out of its jugular, and pull the jugular out. Blood just kind of spurts all over your face. That kind of warm, comforting sense as it like trickles down your cheek. And you let go of the creature and its dead body just slumps to the ground in front of you.
I guess after that I'll start looking around for more of them. Just walking through the streets or the alleys and stuff.
Okay, so you're just casually walking around looking for them, inviting them to come at you. Yes, and your little hand, mouth, happily slurps and laps up the blood from the chunk of flesh that it bit out. So Evander, you're with Norman out in the front with these three circling you, and they are now very much circling around you, almost kind of like taunting you and Norman. You can see they've also got like bladed weapons in their hands, and they're like jabbing it outwards, not really intending to like hit Norman, but just in a threatening kind of manner. But they seem to be almost enjoying this whole thing.
I have Norman charge at one of them, and I'm just gonna blast the other one with magic, a different one with magic. Just try to cover 2 out of my 3 bases, I guess, since I'm surrounded.
Okay. You can choose which one of those actions will have 1 less dice, since you're doing them both at the same time.
Well, I just didn't care if any of them actually landed. Like, if you wanted me just to roll once, you could just pick one of them affected or something. Up to you.
Well, what would you want to do first? Do you want to charge first, or do you want to throw the bolt first?
I guess I'll throw the bolt first and then charge.
Okay, give me a roll for that. And remember, guys, to mark fatigue when you're making rolls as well.
Yes, I am now at max fatigue. Well, my next roll will put me at max, which will put me at health dip.
Yes, you throw out a bolt, the invisible force. You can see it, like, you know, moving the snow out of its way as it's kind of travelling through the wind. The creature doesn't even seem to sense it coming, and it takes it full force in the face, and the front half of its snout is just crushed into its skull, and the thing just whimpers and dies and drops dead in the snow. The other two get more excited, and they start like hopping about on all fours, and then they like bound off away from you towards the village. Do you want to try and run them down with Norman?
No, I think I'll. I'm gonna take a breather, try to get my fatigue down. I guess is what I would do.
Okay. Oh,
So I guess
I need an energy
I'll
bar.
Well, I don't know how to word that to get fatigue back, so I guess I'm just gonna like take a breath and let them escape. Kind
Yeah,
of deal.
yeah, sure.
And eating my enemies restore fatigue?
No, that's no. I see normally you can't really do the fatigue thing like in battle. It's kind of cheesy.
Right,
But
right.
if you're like outside the town on your steed while they're going into town, I think you've got the opportunity. You could, like you said, just take up a minute to like gather yourself. Runic, you're on the roof and you can see, you know, the Norman and Evander battling these things, and you can see two of them bounding away from him. One of them just kind of like runs through the gap in the defences. The other one just clambers over the top of them.
I'll shoot one that's sort of like heading towards me. It's not noticed me.
Sure, the one jumping, crawling over the defences. Give me the
Yeah.
roll.
Slowly
Yes, you let out the shot and thing just as it kind of like crests the top of the barricade. It's about to like leap off the top of it. Your arrow just like finds its skull, and the thing kind of spins to the side a little bit, mid motion as it's leaping off. It falls to the ground. The other one just like jumps over its body and runs into town. You hear a snarl from behind you, and you turn around on the roof, and you can see one of the creatures has crept up on the roof behind you, and is now sort of like just like it's crouched down, and it's got its like dagger sword in one hand. It's growling and slathering at you, and then it starts that kind of demonic laugh. What do I do?
Good shot. Here we go.
Yes, it leaps at you just at the same second that you kind of reach around to grab your arrow. You let it loose just as it kind of like closes in on you. You know, there's barely any distance between you and it when you let go of your arrow through its mouth, out of the back of its skull and killing it. But the momentum it has means it already drives its sword into one of your ribs, so you're going to take one injury.
You laughing bastards. Let's kill more. I'm going to quickly stand up and see if I can find the next one and shoot it quickly because I'm getting annoyed and angry at them all.
Eldon, as you're walking around between the buildings, you can see Rorik coming out of his cabin. You can see him like pulling on an armored jacket. He's got a sword in its sheath around his waist, and he looks around and he shouts over to you. Eldon, what is it?
There are beastmen attacking the village.
God be damned. Where are the others?
I'm sure they're around here somewhere.
Just beyond, behind him, around the corner of the building, you can see the shadowy figure of one of the creatures creep around, sneaking behind him.
Does it look at me at all?
It's looking at him.
I want to just I want to try to I want to just point my finger at it and alter yourself to turn that finger into a like a spear type tentacle and just try to stab through it.
Okay, give me the roll. Yeah. Are you thinking like you're throwing your arm out, or are you just like extending out very quickly to spear it?
Yeah, he's just looking at me, and then I just point behind him, and before he notices, there's just something long and sharp just shooting past him.
Yeah, it goes.
And then pulling back.
Yeah, it goes like right past his head, and there's a flinch where he's just like, "What the?" And he turns around and he sees the creature, and your thing is just like right through its eye. And you pull your finger back, and it slumps over, falling dead, face flat on the ground in front of him. What in the God's names was that?
I think that's one of those kobolds that are attacking.
Kobolds? Here, this far north? We should get inside. It's too dangerous out here.
We should check the other villagers, see if they're okay.
Yes, I can't leave Helen, my daughter, though. You go in. I'll stay inside here.
Of course, of course. Stay safe.
He retreats back inside the cabin. You can hear the door being locked, barricaded behind. I think Eldon and Runic, you guys can hear like screams from inside one of the cabins. One of the cabins that lies between the two of you.
I'll just make my way towards it.
I work my way towards it as well.
A woman comes like running out, like in her nightdress, tripping, falling on the snow, and this hulking monster just like leaps out from the doorway behind her and lands on top of her and sinks its teeth, its snout into the back of her neck.
I'm going to shoot it quickly.
Okay, come on, roll. Yes, your arrow finds its straight and true into the side of its skull, and you can still hear her kind of like screaming with pain as the thing dies from the blow. She turns over and like heaves its body off of her and rolls over in the snow onto all fours and looks around wildly.
I'm gonna go stand over her and look down at her.
She looks up at you. The absolute devilishness of your form just emanating in the darkness with a kind of soft violet aura. And she she finds herself like falling backwards on all fours again and crawling away.
I just lean down and get close to her and just ask her, "Would you like to live?"
She's like holding her neck with one hand as she's trying to steady herself. I don't want to die. Yes.
Then look into my eyes and see something terrible.
What?
I'm just gonna. His head just splits open from the front and just shows a giant eyeball where the inside should be.
What's this you going to roll with?
I don't know, some kind of enchant or something, or
Yeah, let's go for enchant.
some kind of show her a glimpse of the Elder God. See if she can survive it or not.
Yeah, let's go with enchant then.
You gotta be sneaky about it. Does it right there in front of Runic?
Well, you're still on the roof shooting down at them, aren't you?
No, he said he moved to the house with you. He said he...
Yeah,
She
you
just
show her true form and split your head open so the eye and all that, and she lets out a terrifying scream of horror, and she turns around and gets up to her feet and runs off, blood dripping down one side. As you're doing this, Runic, from up on the roof when you were shooting down right at the creature that was down this scene, you can see the whole thing. You can see him splitting his head open, this big red eye that practically glows in the dark.
What the hell have you been doing?
He just nonchalantly stands up and just... His head just closes itself. He just fixes his clothes and starts walking back towards the inn.
The woman's ran up to one of the cabins and just banging on the door. Help me! Help me! There's a monster out here!
Jesus Christ.
I'm too much in the heart of battle, so I'm looking for more of these wolf things. So I'm really, I don't ignore Eladin because of that.
The howling has subsided. There's no more sounds of laughter on the wind. Evander, is you're kind of like patrolling around on the outside with Norman. You don't see any more of them skulking around. There's no more screams coming from any of the houses.
I think I'll be looking for the tracks. Man, I was hoping some of them were gone away, but they all fought to the died, so I have to just check, like reverse track the ones that came here, I guess.
Do you have a skill for tracking?
Ah, scout. I don't know if that would work.
Scout would work for that, yeah, sure. Yeah, I mean, the tracks are going to be filled in very quickly in this kind of weather conditions, but you can see the direction that they came from up towards the mountains to the southeast. And there doesn't seem to be other sets of tracks, it's just this one group that seems to have came.
I guess I'll get Runic and Bellad and try to hurry up before, so we can track them as far as we can before they get covered up in snow.
Yeah, you come into town and you can hear this woman hysterically screaming, and people are like telling her to calm down and stay still. They're trying to treat her wound. You know, it's over. They're gone.
I guess I wouldn't think too much about it. There was just a bunch of beastmen attacking, so.
Eldon's just sort of casually strolling about. Runic is coming down from the roof of the inn.
Is Runic horrified by what he saw?
Really doesn't expect anything different nowadays from you.
Or he's just so bitter and jaded he just doesn't care as long as it doesn't go against his values?
Basically, yeah.
I'm the bitter, jaded one.
I'm bitter too, so don't worry.
We're all
so we're
better.
both bitter? Okay.
But yeah, the creatures appear to have retreated, or you've killed off all the ones that came. So
I guess I'll just loot the bodies for any supplies / gear that we could before we take off real quick.
sure, roll a d4 if you want.
4.
You can take 3 gear. They have crude kind of like weapons on them, blades that have been like manufactured, forged. Very poor quality iron, but iron it is indeed, which is unusual for these creatures.
I think I'll just take. So I did 1 gear because I had that. Then I'll just take the other 2 as like backup weapons.
Well, I mean, if you fill your gear, you fill your gear, because that's all you can like
Yeah.
carry.
Yeah, the gear's full.
So what do you guys want to do now?
I want to see if I can sort of work out where they've came from track-wise or anything.
Right, so I would lead you to the tracks I found, I guess.
Yeah. But like I said, they're there, they're clear where they came from, but they are filling in. So if you wanted to use those tracks to follow where they came from, you'd have to do it tonight now.
Right, I'm ready to leave now. That's the whole point of waiting, was for them to come so I could follow them back.
I'll get a couple of supplies in, so I'm not because I'm only one away from getting a health tick. So. Okay, lead the way. Let's have a look at these things.
I mean, if you're tracking them, you can roll with your hunter. See how kind of successful and far along you get.
Holy shit.
Wow. It's the best roll I've ever
That's the
seen.
most. I was going to say, is that a photo finish, that one?
You just know the entire track of how they made the journey north.
I'm not getting involved in any combat this session. That was all the
And
luck
the combat. All the rolls are now dead.
Yes, I mean, you're easily able to follow the tracks up into the snow-laden mountains. You can see where they made camp. If you can call it a camp, it's just where an animal is like bedded down for the night, it looks like. You follow the tracks beyond that onto the other side of the mountains, and you can see there's like a larger station that they've set up. Whichever ones were already here have already kind of like abandoned it and left, but this clearly where they've like had like a staging post for launching raids against this town. Perhaps there's a couple of like stragglers you're able to like kill off as you approach before they run away and give notice. But you can clearly see from here that their tracks lead further east into the s2e7, the geyser fields. And in amongst everything else that's here with this staging post, you can see like weapons that have been laid up, bodies and bones and like pieces of human beings that have been like left here as like ration supplies. None of them are identifiable as Thuran. And there is not enough of it here to be all of the village's men. So any that did die, they've not all been killed off and laid here.
So there's nothing to determine if it is him or not there.
No, it doesn't appear to be him there, and there's not enough here for all the men, so the rest of the men must be somewhere else, or the remains are somewhere else. But you can clearly see the route you would need to take into the geyser fields to follow wherever these creatures have gone.
So I guess we just keep following then, right?
You can take supplies from the meat here if you want, but it is human flesh.
Doesn't make a
Good.
difference in my case.
Oh, doesn't make a difference in your case? Oh, Jesus Christ. Jesus.
Remember, whatchamacallit was outcasted and everything for a while.
So you're a cannibal. I mean, you can roll D4 and take supplies from if you want, but it's human remains.
I'm out. I'll pass. Myself, personally.
Who's hungrier?
Evander's just trying to ignore the fact that his comrades are like picking up stray legs and toes.
I don't need food that bad.
Wait until you're starving, then don't complain to me.
Ugh.
Yeah, it'll be a two-day journey to follow the path into the geyser fields if that's where you want to go. But you'll know the route, and it will be dangerous, but those will cancel each other out.
You want to make camp before we go, or just go?
How injured are you and stuff?
I'm not injured hardly at all.
He's a Norman, man. He's invincible.
I think we can just go on. I'm okay. So
Yeah, I've just got the one injury. I should be fine.
Alright, so I guess make the journey roll then. Let's see.
So you will be going overnight. So you'll take a cold and a fatigue. You'll have 1 extra dice overall.
So 1 extra overall. Gotcha. I totally expected to fail that, by the way. I expected to get 0 successes.
Oh, I 100% expected you to fail there. After him getting 10, come on.
Yeah. I was like,
I
there's
know
no way.
I had no. We're doing okay. I think maybe after all our bad luck, it's decided to do a bit better.
Why is this sea of maybe nice?
There's just one random guy in modern clothing.
I just want to know who was taking a picture of the guy taking a picture. That's just kind of weird.
That's the mystery.
It's an autobiography photographer.
Yes, so you're able to reach the edge of the geyser fields. These great gouts of hot steam and water rising up from the ice and the snow. Some of them are like frozen mid-explosion. There are just these pillars of ice standing like alien structures in the landscape. There's other great swathes of uneven ice jutting out at strange angles from the ground where the water is kind of like coalesced and iced over. But you are able to make the approach on the no camp without being spotted, using the terrain to your advantage. You can see there's a dozen or more gnolls yapping around in some sort of strange hierarchy that they've formed themselves. You can see ones that are more dominant, like yapping and berating others. And you can see crude metal cages that have been wrought from the open forges that they're using from the geothermal wells to smelt and create weapons. And in one of these giant metal cages, you can see a group of 4 men, ragged and bloody and beaten. Now and again, one of the creatures will come along and just like rattle the cage, the bars of the cage with their weapons to taunt them, and the laughing is just incessant and constant.
I'm going to see and sneak around.
Sorry?
I'm going to sort of sneak around sort of a hunter sort of way and sort of prepare myself to attack or find or see what sort of is like the alpha one.
Try to find high ground.
I mean, you still have the advantage of stealth and positioning for when you approach since you were successful. But if you want to try and determine a leader, give me a roll with your sharp eye. I don't know if you could use a lore for that. I suppose you might be able to. Actually, no. Use your hunting skill. because they're animals basically, or animalistic. Yes, there's one of them that's a slightly larger, more battle scarred than the others. He's got one scar like right across his right eye. And he's constantly snipping down other ones, and they're like, you know, cowering, whimpering around him. That one is clearly the alpha.
Okay, guys, if we take down the alpha, it'll put us disorder amongst the other ones. The rest of them will probably either fall suit or run away, and it'll make them easier pickings to get rid of. So I'm going to try and take out the alpha in a quick shot, but I need someone to back us up if something goes wrong.
When something goes wrong.
Yeah, don't worry. I'll have a. I guess me and Norman will be ready to charge in case they come at us.
Just looking at him at Eladin and says, "What can you do nowadays?"
Many things.
Looking at him with an odd eye, saying, "Okay, right." I'm going to take the shot.
Okay. No modifiers, I don't think. Just your archery skill. Your arrow flies through the air, straight and true. Although the creature has a sort of primitive iron cap on its head, your arrow manages to get it in like the ear hole, the side of its skull, striking a killing blow, and the thing drops dead. Immediately, the rest of them excitedly start yapping and howling and running around looking for what's happened.
That's your time. Go, 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 go.
Yeah, I guess I'd charge in there and try to cause more confusion, I suppose. Try to run one of them down while I'm doing it.
Let's try and move these bloody things. What's that?
I want to start walking towards the camp while they're shooting at them and getting Norman ready.
Okay, do you want to give me a roll with riding for Norman, I guess?
Yeah.
And I'm assuming you're just like charging headstrong straight into just like the mass of them to take out as many as you can.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, horn down, just straight into the middle of them.
Unless you want to roll 2d6 for me, pick the highest.
2d6.
Oh
6
yeah,
9.
you'd slam into a group of them, skewering, crushing, concussive force, just smashing and driving into 6 of them and killing them instantly.
Jesus Christ. Norman, this is why you have to survive till the end.
The dice are holding, they're holding.
God, it's a pain in the arse to juggle with. Sorry, Eldon, what did you say you were doing?
I'm just walking towards the camp.
So he charges in full speed, slams into them, crushing them, killing them, and you're just kind of like walking behind at a steady pace, casual pace.
Yes, at a leisurely stroll.
You've died once already, you're not that bothered. Do you want to roll? You can have touched by the... Nah, I don't think you can have touched by the gods, actually. I think just one dice.
Fighter?
Yes, fighter will work, yeah. Wasn't sure what skills you have now. Sure, I mean, I don't know if you're just overconfident or, you know, you truly believe that nothing can harm you now because of your state. But that's proving completely untrue as one of the things comes bounding out, angry, bloodlust in its mind, and it just, like, charges towards you with this long halberd, swings it from a good, like, 3-4 feet away, and sinks the blade into the side of your arm. You take an injury.
Alright. After it sinks its halberd into me, I'm gonna look at it and I'm gonna try to enchant it.
I don't think it's a situation where you can enchant it.
I mean, I guess as long as it's looking in my eye, or looking in an eye.
Okay, so you're thinking enchanting more terms of, like, outright mind control. Sure. Okay, but have one less dice because it's difficult circumstances. Okay, what are you trying to get it to do?
Well, if I got a success, I would have just told it to go kill all its friends, but since I didn't, I'll just tell it to stay there.
Yeah, I mean, you managed to subdue it. It becomes docile, non-aggressive, confused perhaps. But yes, it's not quite willing to just like obey everything you say. It's just not willing to attack you. Runic, after letting out the killing blow, and seeing Evander and Norman charge in and just destroy, half of these creatures, what do you want to do? You can see the men in the cage kind of like perking up, and they're like cheering and shouting and rattling the cage from inside.
I'm going to try and head towards the cage and sort of either break the lock or maybe possibly shoot the lock.
Well, you wouldn't shoot the lock with an arrow, that would do nothing at all. Just smash it with something. Are you trying to sneak over, or are you just running there quickly?
I'm going to try and sneak over while the chaos is on, while all the creatures are sort of scurrying and stuff.
Okay, do you have any kind of stealth, sneaky rules?
I'm just checking out. I've not really got stealthy stuff I can get. It's not really fearful possible and charging because I've got fiery, quick to anger, good at stirring a crowd.
Well, that would be the opposite of sneaking. Then that would be like charging across, furious and headstrong in the battle.
Yeah, I might just do that instead. Just do that.
Okay, give me a dice roll.
See if any more skills would count towards that. I don't think hunter maybe because I'm just going around hunting.
No, because it's a battle, so it'd be any kind of fighting skill.
I think peasant's the closest I have. I don't think that would count though.
No, because there's nothing trained about peasant.
You could still do fiery, but do archery. I mean, you're just yelling to get their attention while shooting them.
Well, he's not trying to attack them. He's just trying to like cover the distance without getting mauled.
Oh, okay.
Yes, you charge, and maybe a little too enthusiastically because you do draw the attention of a couple of the creatures as you run towards the cage. But you do get to the cage before they do anything. So you can either turn around and try to shoot at them before they get to you, or you can spend one of your gear to break the lock.
I'll use a gear to break the lock.
You pull out a hammer or a chisel or something like that, just like smash the poorly made lock and latch. And the door falls open easily, and the four guys like are clambering over each other to push themselves and get out of the cage. As the two creatures come up, bounding up behind you, snarling and laughing at the same time.
And shout, grab a weapon, get them.
One of the creatures leaps from behind, no weapon in its hands, just full claws and fangs, and jumps onto your back and bites into you, taking into you. Yes, the men, as they run out of the cage, they pick up javelins, blades, whatever's to hand, and closes nearby, and run over to the creature on your back and start like attacking it wildly, just sheer venting frustration and anger at this creature. Managed to like drive it away from you.
Right, everyone, help finish them off.
Evander, so you've done one crushing charge. You get to the other side of the camp and you about turn around one of these geysers. You can see there's only a handful of these creatures left, and then Eladin's standing off to the side and he seems to have befriended one or something.
Still with a halberd sticking in his arm.
But,
I kind of expect shit like that from him at this point.
you can see the cage is open and the guys are all kind of like fighting something over there.
Right, I think I'll just continue to fight from Norman's back, so I'll just go toward the nearest group of them, or if there's the single, I'll just head toward one of them.
Yeah, I mean the other four are a little more spread out, so they wouldn't be easily charged. You'd kind of have to pick one to go for.
Right, yeah, so I'll just single one out and go towards it.
It's a Norman charge, they'll be raiding again.
No, I think I'm just gonna shoot it from Norman's back.
Okay.
Just using Norman as like, instead of running my own legs, I'm just using his legs.
Yeah.
Forgot to mark fatigue for that charge.
You mark fatigue. It's technically his fatigue and not yours, but yeah.
Right. Yeah, I did it now. I was like, oh, I forgot to do
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
But
Yeah, you throw a bolt and the big puff of snow goes up at the same time as the creature is kind of driven into the ground with a concussive force. The surrounding creatures quickly realise how badly they've been massacred, how they're being charged by this massive creature, and now there's like invisible explosions going off around them, and they go into panic and just scatter in 3 different directions.
Is one of them heading in my direction with the other kobold?
You've still got the one subdued next to you. He doesn't really seem to be responding or going anywhere. He's kind of entranced almost. But yeah, sure, one of them's kind of running off in a direction
Alright.
that's closest to you.
I'll yank the halberd out of my arm and just swing it and try to behead him as he runs past.
Sure, give me a roll. Yeah, you swing around. You have to close a bit of distance between the two of you, but the thing is so preoccupied running away. You're able to like close the distance and decapitate it with a swift blow of the halberd. Just a second after you do that, though, a geyser that you've kind of like wandered across without realizing it goes up, and you're sent like spinning in the air. Try to take another injury. Scalded all like down one side of your body as you land in the snow.
The land sprawled out in the snow.
The other 2 creatures flee. They're gone, full speed away. The one that you had kind of under control seems sort of come to its senses, and after a moment or 2 of looking around, it also flees and runs off in the distance.
well, that was easier than anticipated.
Barely an inconvenience.
Will I check the survivors to see if anyone was there on?
He put like 12 of those things up there, and I was like, oh god, we're gonna fail like every roll. I was like,
I think the average is working out for you today. Fucking lots of crits. Fucking 10 successes in one row. And
yeah.
Next
I
week,
guess-
we all die.
I don't
Yes.
know. Hopefully, hopefully this keeps balancing out. You know, we had like 3 sessions where we rolled real shitty. Now
Yeah.
we've had like 4 sessions where we rolled okay.
Yeah, I mean, the men are all
Yeah,
battered. Oh, sorry, there you go.
It switched. I was rolling well at the beginning, now I'm rolling bad.
Yeah, so the men are all kind of battered and bloody and bruised, and you look worse for wear, look malnutritioned, they look positively skinny. I'm trying to think, but you've been probably skinny anyway. Yeah, they look very worse for wear, but you're able to recognise Thorin. He has a very distinctive sort of red facial hair, and he has sort of very sort of chiselled good looks, and you're instantly able to recognise him as a man from the village.
Oh,
Hold on, there you are.
Rinnick, you've came to save us, brother.
Don't make it easy on us.
Grabs you in a big bear hug and squeezes you tight. Oh, you have no idea. Those things, I thought we were done for. But you must have been to the town. My brother, his child. Are they doing okay?
Child's fine. Unfortunately, the mother's unfortunately passed.
Oh no.
But
Poor Rourke,
first things first,
he must be heartbroken.
First things first, need to get you back, get you all sorted. Let's see what we can find here and gather up together and take back with us.
Yes, as you can see, there aren't many of us left. Dear God, the chieftain, his son, they're both dead. How will I ever explain it to his wife? We must go though. There were many more of these things away in hunting parties, and they'll no doubt be returning when the others bring them back.
Search out here quickly and then we'll head out.
There's more of these things? God damn it.
Evander! And he like screams at you in the back of your massive rhino. What is this beast you're riding?
This is Norman.
What a fantastic animal.
Yes, he does the job very well.
However, there'll be time for such things later. You're right, we must go.
How do these things make weapons? How do they even know how to operate a forge?
And so there's a very rudimentary smelting forge set up
Right.
like by the geysers, and you can see they're using like vents and the geothermal heat to heat it, and they're just basically shoving it in there until it melts, and then crudely just pulling it out onto like, they're not even anvils, they're just like flat bits of rock and metal, and then just like beating it into shape there.
Right. That just proves my point even more because they don't know how to shape it, but somehow they figured out how to get it to heat up and melt in the first place.
Or someone showed them, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. They're like, so how did they get to this point? Like, who do we need to blame for this?
He says, looking at Elvin.
Paladin's still over there, just sprawled out on the floor, on the snow.
I guess we'll get the men up on Norman since he said they were kind of like malnourished or whatever.
Yeah, they're in bad shape.
Alright, so we'll get them up on Norman, and then I guess the rest of us will walk.
Can we find any treasure in this camp or anything before we leave?
Eladin.
So there's a small amount of treasure, but it is very likely personal belongings and stuff from the townspeople that have been killed.
Never mind, we'll bring it back to them.
So you want to roll a d4 for me.
He's like, damn it, I was gonna keep it, but he's like,
There is 3 treasures worth of trinkets and jewellery and such. But most of it, if not all of it, likely belongs to the townspeople. The dead ones.
So we'll give it back to the town. I'll happily do it. For the children.
well, the children.
Sure, it's a 3-day journey back to the town.
Oh, yeah, supplies? Do they have any supplies in that camp before we left?
Again, yes, but
belongs
it
to the
will be
people?
human remains. Yeah.
Oh, God. Oh.
So I
You
mean,
know
it's up to you guys if you want to scavenge that or not.
What about the ones we killed? You couldn't like cut some of them up? Are they even edible?
Oh, the ones that you
I'm-
killed?
Yeah, yeah. I'm good. I'm gonna leave
If
them.
you like
Ain't got the
eating
time.
hyena dog meat, sure.
You know, it's better than human meat, but yeah, I'm gonna leave it. I ain't got time. So I'm not fresh. At least we know where we're going.
The longer in the day,
Well, let's rest before we head back.
longer in the day, treacherous because they're going to bring your tail. So you're going to be 2 dice down.
Shit. Alright.
You can travel overnight by taking cold to get a dice. You can take extra fatigue to push your limit.
I'll do overnight with the extra cold, right?
Okay, so everyone marks cold.
I really can't afford an extra fatigue. I don't know about you guys.
I can use fatigue up. I just my counter's already on. I've already got a health tick already now, so
I mean, if you got supplies right now, you can roll for a supply to get your fatigue back.
Yeah,
No.
I'll eat some suspicious meat.
I'll just take a health. No, can't take a health tick. Yeah. I have no supplies. After that, I got 1 supplies.
I mean, you could eat the human flesh to
I'm
store.
out. I'm not doing that.
It's just some suspicious meat. I'm sure it'll be fine.
I'm making this 3-day journey with 1 supply, so we're like, what I need to work out.
Your choice of cold or injury for each supply that you don't have for the journey. Otherwise, it's 3 supplies, guys, and you're taking a fatigue and a cold. But because you're traveling overnight non-stop.
Take 1 cold and 1 injury, I guess.
Oh, sorry, you take less supplies, so roll a d4 for me.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so it's only 2 supplies, not 3.
Oh, I'll take a cold and I'll take the injury back off.
But yes, with that, you're able to keep ahead of any hunting packs that might be following you. And you manage to reach town without anybody dying, without any unfortunate events occurring, without anyone falling through a gap in the ice or anything like that. back at the village, you know, the people are absolutely jubilant that anybody has returned. There are questions to be asked about Eldon, given the women's stories from the other night. But they are more than relieved to see at least some of the men have came back before the grief begins to set in about the ones that didn't make it. And Rourke is elated that his brother is alive and the two brothers embrace before he excitedly shows his new daughter to her uncle. And then, somewhat confusedly for Thurin, Rorik declares that he is leaving his daughter here in the village in the care of the villagers, and he will be returning to their mother, as destiny has something in store for him.
I'll look at Eladin again. What have you done?
Eladin just smiles.
Listen, we'll send a message to your mother. I'm sure she'd rather trying to work her way up here to support you and your family here.
No, Rorik is absolutely determined. No, Eldon has said to me, my wife has came back from the grave to instruct me on my destiny, and I must honour her wishes. I will not be dissuaded. Thurin may stay here if he wishes to look after my daughter, and I would be thankful if he did so, but I must return home.
Keep looking at Eladin and saying, do something. Wait.
I would say we
you
the daughter with us, but it's kind of like we've almost died multiple times coming up here. I'd hate to see what would happen going back with a kid.
do you want me to say something to him now?
As
It'd
long
probably
as,
safer for his mother to come here than it would for all of them to try and travel, especially a child.
well, I mean, the whole mission for you guys was to find out they were alive and bring news of that to her, or bring them home if you could.
Right, no one had to come home with us, technically.
This is true, yeah. You could try and bring the baby with you. Eldon could stay behind to look after the child.
No.
Yes, I'm sure I could help the villagers with many things.
I see it now, the child will be prodigy of a cult or something.
We could even make a temple in the village to ask the gods for aid.
Thurin is baffled, quite frankly, about why his brother would want to return home at such a time, but he confides in you that he is convinced that it's just a stage of grief that he's going through, and perhaps he'll snap out of it. He tries and persuades him to wait weeks until the worst of the winter is past before he makes his way back anyway. Thurin is going to stay here because the village has only a couple of men as it is to help defend it, and he feels it's his obligation to stay here and help. Are you guys going to stay here for a week before you try to head off anywhere else?
I would suggest that we do.
I'll need to get my health tick off, so probably worthwhile.
Yes, it would give me many opportunities to interact with the villagers then.
And we still gotta help Munich take care of his business now that we've taken care of our business.
And then get home alive in one piece.
This is true.
Yeah, I'll ask on you to join me. On our way back, we head down towards the mountains. And then I'll secretly reveal that technically, even though I act poor and I'm poor in most tenses, I'm actually extremely rich.
Yeah, you have a fortune stashed away somewhere.
Basically, yeah, I basically sort of I call myself Runic, obviously, in terms of this, but my actual name is sort of a lord's name, and actually immense amounts of money. It's all been held and run through associates.
Oh, in some kingdom south of the Great Forest.
Basically, yes.
Such a fortune would be great in establishing a new religion of some kind. Yeah, if you want to take the health tick for staying the week, we can do supplies and stuff like that before or at the start of the next session.
Get my debt back all the way up to the top. That'll work.
Does anyone have XP maxed out that they can level up?
Oh yeah,
I do.
Yeah.
that's kind of why I stopped getting cheats. Like almost every goal I do now, I can use a cheat. I get XP almost every goal.
Yeah, I should probably have some sort of cap on the traits, I think.
Yeah.
Or I don't know. I quite like the doing it when you just make cap, but I don't know how to. Maybe you can only do like once per session or something, which is what usually ends up kind of being anyway.
Yeah, I think a level up once per session would. It's kind of what we're doing now, like you said. So.
Well, not the level up so much, but the traits one. So
Oh,
you're not
gotcha.
like choosing to get like 2 traits in a session or something.
I think if you're doing it by based on the questions, the max cap you can get is probably 6
Yeah,
traits.
yeah. Yeah, I mean that sounds about right. I was just thinking try to space it out a little bit, man. But if it's a short campaign, you don't want to space out too much anyway.
I'm going to put archery up again. I'm thinking.
I did Beastmaster.
I leveled up enchant.
Of course you did. It's fucking mind control, man.
We'll get to the final boss. I control the final boss. You will kill yourself.
Yeah, I mean, based on
No.
that, I mean, I was saying maybe like 2 or 3 sessions, but it's probably just like the one more session to face
Does
the
it
mound.
depend on how the thingy bat goes?
Well, it's
Yeah.
I mean, the journey to the mound's quite fucking long, so that may be a little bit of time, and then you've got to get home after that. But that's probably still just one session.
But then again, isn't our Pathfinder on a path of revenge? So couldn't he lead us in the wrong direction?
Dude, no, I'm the Pathfinder. I'm
I'm
not
not
no
the
event.
Pathfinder. That's a
What?
Vandal's the Pathfinder. I'm not the Pathfinder. I'm the hunter who sends us off.
What I picture happening is that we're gonna make it to the mountain. We're gonna go up against the thing that he needs to kill, and Elodin's gonna like mind control it, and he's gonna kill us before Elodin. That's what I picture.
Yeah, that's my thought. I was gonna have the boss kill you, then I was gonna
Yeah.
leave.
Yeah, that's what I thought was gonna happen.
You know, take over the village and create his new cult to send people to the ice caves.
Should I see
Oh
what
no, it's
guy
even
that-
better now. My new plan is to have them mine out the giant thing and turn it into like a giant temple to bring about the end of the world. You know, normal stuff.
I still have that rock, by the way.
Oh, he knows because
Yeah, but he doesn't.
His presence is like comforting to him.
I don't know. Maybe the rock protects you from the mind control, or just makes it easier.
Take it to the mountain and burn it in the lava.
I think it protects him from that because it did affect him already. But yeah.
Right, I'll try to go for a treat because I'm telling them the truth, obviously, about the fact is that I do actually have money and I'm extremely rich, obviously, within that part of the land. But the only reason I don't do it is because of this, my sense of vengeance that I want against this creature. That's why I've been searching, and the only way I know the way to find it is so it couldn't find me at the same time.
Yeah, you're like forsaking all your worldly goods in order to focus on vengeance.
Are you vengeance? Are you the goat man?
I am vengeance. Meh.
The creature bars me.
Yeah, it's a long fucking journey down there and then across. So, what's everybody's health like at the moment? Like health ticks?
I am perfect right now.
Oh, you've.
I haven't gotten any yet.
Yeah, of course, we keep healing for about a week at some of the campsites, and that's why. So we've been keeping our health ticks down
Yes.
because we know how bad it goes quickly.
Yes, every time I get a health tech, I'm like, can we stay somewhere for a week?
Yeah, I think last time it was only so bad because we were wandering through the wilderness with no real towns or camps.
You've got
Yeah, we
lost a lot in the last one as well.
yes, we got lost a lot.
Whereas this
I wonder whose
one,
fault that was.
yeah, this one, and in the map as well, you kind of like spaced out settlements and stuff in such a way that you've been able to kind of reach them.
It wasn't my fault. I wasn't bad the last time.
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, you took lost last time, but the
I took
Pathfinder.
lost, but then I wasn't Pathfinder, so I was like, oh, that
Yeah,
doesn't
that's
help me.
true. Yeah, you did do it well, like the one time that it came into it, because I remember you were happy. But yeah. Yeah, I mean, knowing which skills to pick and have people kind of like specialise in that role this time's helped, I think.
Yes.
But at the same time, I mean, there's been a couple of occasions you've actually taken quite a beating.
Well, I think one time I had a health tick and I was almost at a second one. I was like, can we stay somewhere for a week? Because I definitely don't want to try to do these roles with 2 health ticks.
Yeah, I mean, even just 2. I might even make the health clock just like 4 ticks in total.
Yeah, that makes more sense because once you're at -4 dice, you kind of can't really do anything
Yeah, you're getting fucked, man.
-1
unless
dice.
you somehow roll a 6 into a 6.
I think I was just like counting because there's like pushing your limit and all that kind of stuff and people helping you. Like the maximum you could get could kind of balance it out. But yeah, I think I'll probably change that to a 4. Makes more sense.
The trait, I've taken the trait generous because always willing to give and go without. So technically,
Right.
I gave everything. I've just told them now that I'm willing to give as much as I can to get this and save my daughter's soul.
I'll give you all
You
my
son,
gold. Just come with
you
me.
son of a bitch. He's like, I'm generous, but then like we had treasure. He's like, I'm keeping all of this. He's like,
That's
he's
totally
like,
true. I don't know how generous
I
you
was
really
like,
are, man.
like you fucker, dude. You keeping all of it? He's like, I gotta get my debt down. Like,
I'm also
You're
I to remember.
you're Scrooge a week after Christmas when he's just finally forgetting about the ghost.
What was I thinking? Ghosts? I want my money.
uh,
Right, I need to note
So-
here. I'll change this.
that's okay. That's when I found all that treasure in that castle. I didn't tell nobody. I was like, keeping all this shit to myself.
Yeah, so I think we'll probably finish next week, almost definitely, and then that's going to be. I gotta check what date that is. Yeah, and then there'll be 2 weeks, maybe even 3 weeks before I start Pokemon. So I might just do some one shots or something. Or I might do the Dead West thing for 3 weeks. I might actually do that. Like a 3-part.
Wanna
I'm
be
Yeah, that'd be
a-
fun for a start campaign.
Second of
What's that?
as I'm away on the 2nd of April
Yeah,
on a trip,
that'd be
so I
fine.
won't be available then. So obviously, if starting with anything like the Pokemon ones or anything,
I'm
sometime
thinking
after
Pokemon the
that.
16th. Where do we start? I need to ask Phil if he's going to play because he did. But other than that, I think it's just you 3 if you just want to do it. Yeah.
I'm totally down for Pokemon.
What's the
Pokemon.
worst can happen with us 3 with Pokemon? Imagine.
It'll be fine. I'm sure we won't be the bad guys.
There's no Lovecraftian demigods in Pokemon.
Are you sure about that?
Well,
'Cause I could picture Eldon getting like a Bulbasaur and then like just using Divine Whip as like some kind of weird tentacle monsters.
It's got one of those.
have you seen Arceus? That's if nothing's Eldritch, that's Eldritch.
Cosmic fucking legendary or something, man.
It's Tanglers or something. There's like loads of vines. There you go. There's your tentacles.
yes.
Like,
Technically.
Yeah, but tentacles doesn't
Have
mean
to-
it's eldritch. It'd have to be like an elder god type thing. But there are like the pure big legendary Pokemon in. This is the
yeah,
other thing. Like,
all the legendaries that aren't dragons are basically just abominations. They're just giant animals.
yeah. Is there not?
Guzzlord.
Oh, what the fuck are they? I don't know what they're called now. I can't remember now. But I was looking up. Is there not another Pokemon thing that's quite a new addition? It's not legendaries, and they're like interdimensional fucking things.
Oh, the Ultra Beasts.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of those is just a giant mouth with arms all around it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's it.
So we're saying that it's not Eldritch, but
I'm saying that it's not impossible to have Eldritch.
I mean, we'll talk about more when we get close to demand, but I'm thinking we'll start very kind of low level. Like, you guys are just like 16, 17, 18-year-olds, like, learning Pokemon stuff.
What, you don't want us to have 10-year-old characters with guns?
I would never.
I am.
Kidnap me.
I'd said this before. I'm not comfortable, like, being an adult and playing, like, children.
I understand, I'm joking.
As, like, a 2-second, like, NPC thing, that's fine, man, but, like, as actual characters role playing, that's a bit weird.
get the
But,
random boy bud catcher and destroy him with a Charizard and burn him to.
But yeah, like college student types learn Pokemon or something. I don't know. This is the other thing. My Pokemon knowledge is not going to be as good as you guys. So
I think it's sort of playing a more of idea like, you know, in the movie Detective Pikachu, sort of it's more like rather than being in like Pokeballs itself, it's more they're actually interactive within the city itself, like with jobs and things like that, or they're around places and stuff more freely.
yeah, I mean, we can talk about what the setting will be and the rules of the world and stuff like that beforehand. I think we need to like lay that down for if it's more like certain regions from the games or the cartoon or whatever.
Will it be more like turn by turn battle, or will it be more the one tactics type game?
I mean, it'd be more like we did before, just you're narrating what they do kind of thing.
I'd imagine it'd be something like this, right? Like we all just like when it
Yeah.
makes sense, one of us take a turn. It would.
Didn't I say this before to me? You have all played the Pokemon one with me before, right?
No, I missed that one.
You missed that one, okay. Yeah, it's just like usual kind of combat, you're just like describing what they do. And you just have one of them out at a time just to stop it getting too confusing.
Yeah, Pokemon's not like when you play like this. It's not really like a lot of one-on-one battles that would take too long.
No, because again, it depends on the structure. If you want to structure, you're going into competitions and stuff like that, you would do like actual battles. But I think we were doing it more like situations where you're going up against one that's causing trouble somehow. Or the time there was the Grookies, which are like the monkey ones, and it was just like a big mass of them to like kind of battle through and scare off. We'll figure it out, man. The whole point in it is to figure it out and just see how it kind of works anyway. I need to go over the rules now. I haven't looked at it for fucking months.
You know, it's okay. I just want a setting where it's like, you know, actual dogfights. You know, like I just want to see the what. No, I'm joking.
Oh, there'll definitely be fights. I mean, the core of it is battling.
I've seen people, yeah, they take it like they take a joke. They're like, "Oh, your Pokemon died," and shit. Like people don't play Pokemon for that reason. Like, why is this happening in this campaign right now?
Oh no, yeah, it's going to be a sort of family-friendly style kind of thing where until I inevitably start throwing in Eldritch horrors that are devouring people, driving them insane because I just need to implement that in every fucking game I run now.
Well, apparently, don't Ditto just replace people?
No.
You're
They just
fascinated
copy
with this
people.
concept of Ditto just like being pod people.
It'll be Shuckles that take over the world.
Oh my god, you could do Invasion Body Snatchers and it's just Dittos.
There was a quest like that in one of the Pokemon games where you have to run around town and find all the people who are Dittos in disguise.
Oh shit, I had a great idea, man. Yeah, I mean, we'll talk about it closer to time and figure something out. But I'm thinking maybe Dead West for a couple of weeks in between. That kind of fits. It means I can actually play that.
Oh yeah, and then there's like 1 in every 10 episodes is just a bunch of psychic Pokemon controlling people. Pokemon is dark, especially the manga.
Mangas are always dark.
Yeah.
Kind of the thing. Alright guys, I'll see you next week for the last one, that's probably.
All right.
Yep,
All right, later.